No black cats, just straight facts.
Triple P certified.
Listen, we can talk about odds all day. It doesn't matter what the odds are. It matters what's gonna happen. Welcome once again to the most exciting time in Perfect Play Pursuit history. Welcome to the Perfect Play Pursuit. Guys, they are trying to stall us out. They are trying to ice us out. We had a break week last week. The gods themselves know that we are on the brink of destiny, and they are trying to throw all sorts of hail, ice, and thunderbolts at us to keep us from walking to the gates of hell, dropping that ring in Mordor and saying it's done. Alex, Dan, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Thank you, sir.
And, it's good to see you guys. Break week wasn't good for me. How was your weekend? I mean, no UFC, nothing to bet on, really. As you guys see, we're doing a year 5 competition. We all started with $1,000, and it's been 2 events. I doubled my money over the first 2 events, and I really wanted to double that doubling last weekend, but there was nothing for me to bet on UFC-wise. And here we are. We're going into UFC Newark, New Jersey. Back from whence thou came, right? Back from whence all 3 of us came, Jersey. Something symbolic around that. 3rd event of the season. Something symbolic.
I was actually boots on the ground this weekend. I passed the Prudential Center. I was looking around. I was scoping around for Habib. When you're in my city, you got to watch your back because Habib didn't check in with me. That's for sure. In my city, I'm looking around. Everybody better watch their back. I was at the Prudential Center. No one was there. No one said peep to me, okay? I was out there. I was looking around all day for anybody looking for a fight. I was fucking Dana White out there looking for a fight. Couldn't find anybody. It was really pathetic, but we're here. Finally, a numbered card, but that's not what we're doing today, ladies and gentlemen. We're breaking down Imavov versus Cannonier, but before that, Luke, what were you about to say?
Yeah, we came in early for you guys last week. Break week episode broke down all of UFC 302, top to bottom, main card and prelims. That's there for you. That's available for you. Go watch that. Let us know what you think. We're going to address that card again at the end of this episode. See if there's any changes. See if there's any changes of heart, thoughts, or minds. And we're going to address that, like I said, at the end. But this episode will be all about breaking down Imavov versus Cannonier so we can get ahead of these lines. That traditionally has been useful and helpful for the show. When we've come in on a break week, we kind of keep that momentum going for a little while till the next break week. We'll realign, we'll recalibrate, the stars will correct. But for now, I just want to talk about broad picture stuff. So we started this year 5 with a competition. Everybody put $1,000 on the table and said, when the 1,000 runs out, you have to immediately pay a tax to the boys that are left in the competition. So if you lose your 1,000, if you're the first one to lose your 1,000, $100 to the first and second place boys. If you're the second person to lose all 1,000, then you pay 100 as well, and the person who was out pays an additional 100 to the winner. So you got a little bit of money on the table just by beating the other 2 if they fall out. But if nobody falls out, or the last man standing with the most amount of money is going to take a 50% tax from the 2 other players. So the stakes are high to both keep, preserve, and grow your bankroll throughout year 5. Season ends May 9th. Season began May 9th. There have been 2 events. As you can see, I've doubled my money to over $2,000. And my plan is to make the least amount of bets with the money, to essentially give myself the least amount of opportunities to lose, be as patient as humanly possible, only look for outcomes that I truly believe will occur, and be strategic with how I double my money each time. Now, my plan was 1,000 to 2,000, 2,000 to 4,000, 4,000 to 8,000, 8,000 to 16, 16 to 32, 32 to 64, 64 to 128. That's an 8-step plan, okay? A 7-step plan from here. So we're here. We're ready. I have a plan for this weekend. That's going to be in the open bet sheet. Go in there to find out what I'm going to plan on doing, what I plan on doing with all 2,000 of these dollars. Go there for our open bets sheets, patreon.com/perfect parlay pursuit. It's a single link. You click it. It lists all the picks that we gave out on the episode. It lists all the bets that we're going to be putting in the open bet sheets. Alex, Luke, and Dan, individualized tabs. Alex has put a perfect parlay in there last December. I've been putting all my winnings in there throughout this year. We even put an Usyk bet in there. So go in there if you want to get some betting advice, not financial advice, entertainment purposes only. I don't even exist. And just go there to support the show. Okay, it's $100 for the year. This is just to support the content we give you for free. to give us a little bit of juice. We're going to gamble with the money you put in the Patreon. Same kind of style, doubling, compounded interest strategy. But thank you all for being here, and let's get into it. Imavov versus Cannonier, and then we'll talk about UFC 302 at the very end of the episode as well. So we'll start at the tippy top. Jared Cannonier versus Nasruddin Imavov. Feels like a pandemic hero matchup, right? Feels like a fight. Feels sort of like the last stand of the Apex, right? Because Dana has said we're not going to be doing the Apex anymore. We're going to be going back out on the road. We're going to be going to Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Cleveland, Ohio. We're going to be going everywhere, guys. So let's do it, right? Let's get back on the road. We can all agree it's a lot more fun when the UFC has to put bouts up that are for the fans in the seats. And dude, Alex, you got to figure something out, man. You got some background noise kicking out. I don't know what's going on, but I had to mute you right there because I could hear it, and now I don't hear it. So, you hear it, Dan?
I don't hear it now. Now I hear it.
Now you don't.
Now I don't.
Now I hear birds chirping outside your window.
I will rectify. Give me one.
No, you're good. Birds are good. Birds are good. So, I don't know why Alex's shit was giving that kind of feedback. He's got a good mic. He's got everything, working fine.
Yeah, he's always shameless about the mics, but guess what? Sometimes technology backfires. All right, my friend.
You have to calibrate it. You can't,
my friend.
Hope for the best. All right. Well, we got some good fights on this card. Moises is fighting. Lolis is fighting. Rosas Jr. is fighting. These are the names that kind of stand out to me. Dominic Reyes will be on the card. He's taking on a guy named Dustin Jacoby. Thank God. Finally, we got Dustin Jacoby. So I could use that. I've used that 90 times, and Dustin Jacoby has not fought. It's hard to say Jacoby now. It's hard for me to say Jacoby because I've heard Jacoby so often in my head. I walk around just saying it. Dustin Jacoby. I just mumble it to myself. And but I will say, MMA Guru getting a little too. I don't know. Getting a little too close to the sun. I mean, I love him. You guys know I love MMA Guru, but I'm going to predict a downfall. I'm going to predict that everybody turns on him in the next year because I find him to be kind of not riding the horse that got him there in some ways. Some ways he is, but he's just getting a little too weird, right? Like for me, it started with the Michael Chandler kids thing, and then it morphed even greater with the John Jones homosexual accusations thing. To me, it's like both of these things are just like, who cares and why? You know what I mean? Like yeah.
And I think when I come back as a heavyweight, I'll try to do more legally controversial shit.
Like, I love John, and he's our American champion, and, we have to rally around him and put a protective kind of, like, coat around him and say, like, not only is he a wrestler, like, we coated Ben Askren when he got knocked out by Jake Paul. Me and Alex, we stepped up to the plate. We put a coat around him, but he's an American wrestler. And, John, warts and all, he's a Christian. If you're a Christian, you got to believe in forgiveness. You got to forgive him. So, Rampage Jackson comes out. He says that some big news is coming out about John Jones. It's going to rock the MMA space. And here I am putting all this on wax days before. I love John Jones. John Bones Jones is the greatest UFC champion we have ever had. And he's an American. And we need to coat him with our comfort and love and respect.
Great fighter, better man.
He is the Muhammad Ali of our generation, guys.
Hey, shut up. Hold on. Sorry. I'll mute it.
The dog is protesting that. Even the dog is protesting that. No, guys, I don't know what Rampage is going to come forward with. I don't know what the MMA Guru is going to do next. But all I know is he also disrespected our boy Joe Solecki just a little bit. He said Joe Solecki basically said Joe Solecki can't punch his way out of a paper bag. And that's basically what he said. He didn't say that.
Joel is sucky.
It was not as bad as Dan's little tirade, but it was fairly disrespectful. I mean, Alex, what you said, you're the biggest MMA Guru fan on the show, and you sat in the group chat, you called for a enunciation.
Yeah. Dan, shut that fucking dog up.
I like it. It's fine. I don't care, Dan.
Yeah. I definitely denounced that statement at the very least. You don't come at Joe Solecki, but coming up on this card the week after, like we have the exact same scenario with homeboy Zach Reese. And how can I say anything bad about Zach Reese now? How can I say anything bad about Zach Reese when the same exact thing happened to my boy and I put a shield up for him? So, I'm not even going to comment on that fight one bit, the Zach Reese fight. Just let it be known. But yeah, I denounced those statements about Joe Selecki. I don't appreciate them whatsoever. He seems to, glaze Tom Aspinall every chance he gets. No matter what the circumstance is, he glazes Tom Aspinall. So, whatever. It is what it is. I guess we all just like our guys from our hometown, eh?
I'm sorry about the Barks, guys. Let me just put this out there. Sorry about the Barks. The wife is out of town. I'm about to hire Christy Nome to be my nanny. Okay, I'm gonna get this thing fixed. Don't worry.
Is that even your dog, or is that some strange?
No, that's my dog. It's my dog.
Okay. All right. Well, listen.
If it was my dog, it would have been better.
No. I'm just saying, like, do you have? Is your dog barking, or are you dog sitting for somebody else and their dog is barking?
No. It's my dog.
That's what I'm wondering. Okay, well, that's fine. It's your dog's house. He can do whatever he wants. Yeah, I mean, the Tom Aspinall thing with John Jones, it's like we called for like Tony to fight Khabib for how many years? We called for like Fedor to fight Randy Couture or Brock Lesnar for so many years, right? People really need to like don't be so quick to rush to this like idea that like somebody's ducking somebody or somebody's like afraid of somebody or somebody like doesn't want to fight. It's like, guys, we just heard about Tom Aspinall. Like, when did he lose to Curtis Blades? You know what I mean? Like, how recently was that? We talked about Fedor versus whoever in the UFC, or like Shinya Aoki versus BJ Penn. Like, there's so many matchups between like a number 1 and a number 2 guy that people wanted to see and talked about for so long and never even happened, and nobody even talks about it at all now. And people just want to see. Like, John didn't do anything wrong, dude. He had already done enough at light heavyweight to not need to do anything at heavyweight. He takes his sweet time. He comes up. Nobody shits on George St. Pierre for waiting until old one-eyed Willie was holding the title before he came back. Everybody loves GSP still. GSP fucking didn't fight Rob Whittaker. GSP didn't fight Yoel Romero. He didn't fight Kamaru Usman. He fought Michael Bisping. You know what I mean?
Khabib.
He didn't fight Khabib. He didn't fight fucking, who is
that fight is still floating out there. GSP Khabib. Oh, Khabib might be coming back. Maybe he'll fight GSP.
Yeah, GSP didn't fight Anderson Silva. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Little ass BJ Penn, who was a man and came up twice and fought his ass. So yeah, I don't want to hear it. BJ Penn never fucking waited around for somebody to be an advantageous matchup, and BJ Penn never said no to a matchup.
Fought Lyoto Machida at heavyweight.
What?
He fought Lyoto Machida at heavyweight.
But I'll say this, dude. I don't want nothing to do with Khabib right now. That guy is 200 plus pounds. You're talking all kinds of shit on Khabib, saying he better check in with you. I feel like Khabib is scarier than ever. You know what I mean? Like, he's huge and like under no USADA restrictions, eating whatever the fuck he wants. Dude, like, he has nothing to fear. Like, I would never want to fuck with Khabib now. And
yoked up on tiramisu.
I thought the same kind of thing about Chael Sonnen, where I was like, he's outside of the testing pool. He's still, he's still got it. You know what I mean? Like, kind of like, I'm like,
I love the balls on my mouth.
Look at those big biceps in that. I just wanted to find a picture of Chael real quick. That's the only clip I had. But look at those biceps. He's like jacked as shit. And now, but now he's gonna go box Anderson Silva and George Masvidal. It's like those guys are like, that's their area of strength. Haven't you learned anything from watching Jake Paul fight these MMA guys? Like,
I think he just doesn't give a shit anymore.
I also, if you ever listen to Chael, he says his favorite sports are boxing and wrestling. Mm-hmm. He doesn't say MMA. He says boxing and wrestling, and he says that he always wanted to be a boxer and that he loves boxing and he always trains. So I think he's been secretly kind of training a lot of boxing for a long time. I think he's sandbagging a little bit.
Well, we saw him live at MSG, and I wouldn't say it was the best boxing performance of all time. He did win. He won the fight.
Yeah.
But not a lot of boxing.
Boxing and wrestling are pretty much the exact same thing, because with wrestling, where you need to get your opponent to step in order to take a shot and what you need to do with your head to avoid the collar tie is the same exact movements as a boxer, down to how low you put your center of gravity in your hips. You know what I mean? Like, if you're really like a boxer, like you're getting low, like you're shooting for a takedown more than you're bending at the waist. You're squatting with your hips, with your thighs. And a lot of what wrestling is, like getting a collar tie on somebody, is the exact same as throwing a punch at somebody. It's like, and hand fighting is exactly the same as parrying, and you know what I mean? The underhooks is the same as the dirty boxing. There's so many parallels to amateur wrestling and American boxing, Queensberry rules. Like, so I have always kind of felt like boxing and wrestling are closer than they are different.
Marcus of Queensberry.
I think boxing and tennis are a lot closer than they are different, to be honest. You know, it's all about getting your opponent to be here so you can put something there, you know? Controlling the distance.
I see it.
Controlling distance until you can put a kill shot on, you know? Controlling a distance, getting them to step so that you can put a kill shot. Tennis, boxing, wrestling, all pretty much the same in that regard. Like, you're trying to align, move, bang, you know?
Set the trap.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get into it. Jared Cannonier, Marcus Aurelius versus... Why did I say that? That just like came out. Why did I say Marcus Aurelius? That's crazy.
I said Marcus of Queensberry.
You said Marcus of Queensberry, yeah. That just like got in my head, floated around, and like
setting the trap.
You set the trap, baby. Okay, well let's get serious, guys. Okay, because this show, if nothing else, is about breaking down fights from our expertise. If you've been watching the show or not, you know by this point we're experts. We know exactly what we're talking about. I've watched UFC longer than anyone that I've ever met in my entire life. Okay, and I've watched it with more detail and never missing any. I've never met someone who's a bigger UFC fan who keeps himself more on the pulse of what's going on in the UFC and has for a longer period of time than me. Ever. There is no one besides Dana White himself. Okay, there's Dana White and then there's me. So, and then there's Alex. Really, and then there's Alex. And the only reason Alex is not right there with me and Dana is because he is younger. You know?
He's younger.
It's really all there is. Dan, I got him indoctrinated in college. I'd say around Diaz.
2012.
2012?
2012.
I said Diaz Condit era. So let's see. Diaz versus Condit was when?
So I can give you.
Wow. Diaz fought Carlos Condit February 4th of 2012. Amazing. That is when I believe I started to get you involved in being a fan. UFC.
I can tell you my first officially bought pay-per-view, Carlos Condit, Robbie Lawler. That's the first one that I bought on my own money. Had the boys over. I've never felt like more of a man. Like,
oh wow,
losing my virginity, like all these other things that are like pillars of manhood. No. Pales in comparison to buying your first pay-per-view. You get the pizza, you get the boys over, you talk fights. Man, I felt like a king that day.
And what a card you bought. I mean, you had the man who's in the main event of the card we're watching this weekend won a 3-round decision on the prelims that night. Dustin Poirier, wow. January 2nd of 2016. Then there was also a guy who's fighting this weekend named Alex Morono, who's on that card. Not to mention a little man named Stipe Miocic, heavyweight contender at the
I
time.
Remember that. Yeah.
First round knockout against Andrei Arlovsky. And then obviously the legendary fight with Robbie Lawler and Carlos Condit. That image I remember of them just both hanging over the cage at the end.
Yes.
That was legendary. Yes. Was that at your house for that?
I don't think so.
But yeah, what a great card for your first one to be 2016 of January. And you were watching that going, Donald Trump is the fucking president. But at the time, it wasn't like, how we would look at it now. It was like a whole different vibe, right?
Yeah. And then, of course, you get the biggest peeve of all. Anytime you're bringing in newcomers is they ask, oh, well, who's fighting? It's like, you don't know anybody, so why are you asking me anyway? That's the worst question ever asked.
We should just start lying about
anybody.
That's so hilarious. We should just start lying about everybody and the prelims and the backstories for girls. Dude, that is the best idea I've ever had. I'm just gonna start making up stories.
These two guys actually have dated the same girl, and this guy actually now is with that girl, and this guy is pissed about it.
Dude, you said exactly what I was already gonna say, because when it comes to women,
when it comes to the wrestling, when it comes to them getting in the wrestling ring, there's nothing up there. They're all oatmeal north of the eyebrows. They're all.
That's exactly what I would say. I'd be like, where I would be like, his wife has a furniture website. She sells furniture. She has like a reality show coming out on Hulu about like her furniture, how she started it herself, and like it's all really cute, like bespoke designs from local artisans and
artisans.
Yeah. And his wife has a charity for it's like I feel like what other let's do some more. This is fun.
I think I already hit the best one.
How about bigger ones? Like when guys ask us, we could be like, okay, so see that guy? Yeah, he was actually
at January 6th and wasn't going to get arrested, but nothing ever really came of it.
This guy was a Colombian drug cartel smuggler and spent like 15 years in jail, and he was fighting in jail, and he like won all the tournaments in jail, and then
that's how he got discovered. The prison guard.
Yeah, they let him out because he was so good that they gave him a scholarship to go out of jail.
He beat up the warden.
Well, because in other countries, you can get out on scholarship if you show aptitude in a certain area. Yeah, this was another country, so that's why. And he got out on boxing scholarship. He won the national title in boxing, and now he's in the UFC. He fought for his freedom. This guy was born with no legs.
Those are prosthetics, bro. We've come a long way in the prosthetic world.
No,
what happened? He believed in himself, and then they popped out.
No. What happened was his brother. His brother was dying, and his dying wish was his brother was a really good kickboxer, so he gave him his legs, and he said,
"His legs,
take these legs to the title, brother." He said, "You know what these legs are capable of," and then now he's got his brother's legs. He also has his brother's penis, so you can understand. There's a whole legal thing going on with.
And now he's married to his brother's wife.
Dan, did you hear that Chris Weidman got a penis? What was it? A penis replacement surgery or something of that nature?
Yeah. It's a wild thing, man.
It just broke on Joe Rogan
all the time.
I couldn't believe
when you look into it.
I tried to reach Chris Weidman for comment, but I wasn't able to get through.
Nah, he'll never talk about it.
But Joe Rogan said it. This is per Joe Rogan. This isn't my beliefs. Joe Rogan believes that Chris Weidman got a penis replacement surgery.
Yeah. Don't look it up. Just trust us.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, he said sorry, Chris. He felt so bad for spilling the beans.
It is what it is.
On Chris Weidman's penis replacement surgery that he said sorry, Chris, and looked very nervous.
I will say that. Let's not get.
Please don't ask me any dumb questions.
Sorry, I did not mean to hit that. But Jake, isn't it funny how people are so fucking quick to rush to judgment with their dumb ass idiot opinions? Like, the Mike Tyson fight is still going on. Yeah, sure. Mike Tyson had a little hiccup on the plane. Okay, he's fine. Put him in there. I want to see this now. I don't give a fuck. I
want to see Connor fight. He's partying crazy with D. Delvin in the club. Did you guys see that?
I saw that.
Yeah.
I love that D is just down for whatever. He's just like, yeah.
Your fucking mom and dad were doing that. Like, could you imagine it? Like, they have. I'm just saying they have kids. How cringe! Like, you're a kid. I mean, I know his kids are pretty young, so I guess it's more okay than than if they were like 16 in high school. And maybe it's because I got that movie fresh in the head about Anne Hathaway dating the youngster, and then her daughter got bullied in school for it. It was a whole thing.
It's your favorite movie.
It's like my favorite movie now. It's called what's it called? I forgot. But point is, like you got a mom and dad, and your mom's licking your dad's chest at the club. Like what?
And Conor
I didn't see that.
Conor McGregor is a confirmed head pusher. He pushes that down.
Dude, it's martial arts stuff. He's just always trying to, you know what I mean? He's always trying to snap the head, get the guillotine. You know what I mean? It's fine. Like, I'm not surprised.
Oh my gosh! Shout out to Dustin. Don't be silly,
man. I really, yeah. Okay, we got to get into this week's card or next week's card before we get back to this week's card, guys. Go watch the other episode. Okay, go watch the other episode. It's there for you. Jared Cannonier, the killer gorilla, versus Nasruddin Imavov, the Russian sniper. I like how these guys have adjective, noun. Adjective, noun. You know what I mean? Killer, gorilla. Russian sniper. It tells you adjective, noun. What are they? It's like very good. 40-year-old versus 28-year-old. All I need to see. You'll never see me betting on a 40-year-old, no matter who it is, against a 28-year-old, no matter who it is. I shouldn't say that. I definitely shouldn't say that. That's crazy to say. Of course, there are some situations where I'd bet on a 40-year-old over a 28-year-old, but this isn't one of them. Nasruddin Imavov is somebody who I'm super high on, super confident on. This is exactly where the buck stops with Jared Cannonier. I mean, he got really lucky in the Sean Strickland split decision. He lost the Izzy fight. He got lucky with just the matchups with Brunson and Gastelum. And then the Vettori fight, Vettori has kind of showed us exactly who he is. He is a 6 out of 10 fighter. Nasruddin Imavov, I would put him at about 8 out of 10. I think he is an 8 out of 10 fighter. I think he's really good. I think he fought Sean Strickland exactly like fucking Cannonier fought Sean Strickland, to be honest with you. They both kind of fought him the same way. Sean's a tricky fight, but all things equal, neither of them really got ahead of the other in terms of how they performed against their common opponent, who they both lost to at the exact same point in their last 5 fights. So I'm definitely going with Imavov. I don't know what the odds are, but if they're anywhere close to pick him, I'm dumping the dump truck on Imavov here. Is he French? Yes. Is Jared Cannonier more of a man? Yes. Could Jared Cannonier go in there and say no fucks given mode and just knock him out for no damn reason? Of course. But at 40 years old, we're going to see a worse and worse and worse Jared Cannonier every time he's in there. Imavov looks better and better and better at 28. And, the physical attributes, a 2.5-inch reach, I'll take it if he's going to be 4 inches taller than him and able to kind of like hang on him against the cage and do things to him in the clinch department that are going to wear out those big, strong muscles of Jared Cannonier, even though he doesn't have cardio issues and has no problem going 5 rounds no matter how hard the pace is. So
someone saying Imavov does, in fact.
Imavov does, yeah, but I'm saying, but you got to think, who has Cannonier fought that has the physical attributes like Imavov? He has not fought a 6'3" guy besides, Izzy, and he lost. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, he hasn't fought like a big, tall, long, hardy, stocky guy. He's been fighting fucking Gastelum, who's a welterweight. He fought, Brunson, who's a welterweight. He fought.
Brunson has never fought
not a
welterweight in
welterweight,
his entire career.
He's not a welterweight. You're right, but he's 50, right? That's it. He was 50. I don't know. Maybe I'm grasping at straws here. You guys fill in.
Yeah, you're grasping at straws for sure.
Imavov emphatically. For me, I don't.
Yeah, I wanted to go Imavov at first. When I saw this, I was like, oh, Imavov, Jared Cannonier's really old. But then I dug a little deeper on this. I did think Ruben de la Dedze was going to be Imavov. I did think he won that fight. Kidding. I did not think he won that fight. But I thought he was going to beat Imavov. Curtis Blades, cowardly performance against Imavov. Sean Strickland is his best opponent. Joaquin Buckley, that has aged well, but, still not like the best win in the world. Edmund Shabazian, not a good win. Ian Heinrich, not in the UFC. Phil Halls, not in the UFC. Jordan Williams,
lost
diabetes. Yeah, he lost to Phil Halls. Jordan Williams, diabetes. So like when we really break it down, who is that? Who has Imavov fought? His best opponent is Sean Strickland, who he lost to, that Jared Cannonier beat, which I thought Sean Strickland won that fight personally. But, regardless, the only common opponent...
Well, wait, hold on. To me, the Shabazian fight stands out as a really great performance. And I know...
Shabazian sucks. Shabazian sucks.
2 months ago, he beat up Roman Dolidze pretty good.
Yeah, that was a good win. But even then, like, Roman Dolidze lost to fucking Trevin Giles. So how good is he in reality? Like, we gotta start
being better. I would put Michel Pereira, Roman Dolidze, exact same category.
No, Michel Pereira is younger.
Michel Pereira is better, yeah. But I'm saying
Michel Pereira is younger and better and more athletic. Anyway, and has more ways to win. Anyway, besides that, if you really break it down, Imavov hasn't fought anybody, and Imavov is not Izzy. He does not fight like Izzy as much. He is not as clean as Izzy. He is not as long as Izzy. He is not as good as Izzy. Cannonier has fought against the highest level of opponents in this division. And, like I said, he beat Strickland. I think he's going to end up winning this fight. I think Imavov is going to find a way to lose this. I don't necessarily think Jared Cannonier is going to style on him by any stretch of the imagination. I think Imavov has cardio issues. I think Imavov doesn't stick behind his jab as well as he possibly could. He doesn't utilize it as well as a guy like Izzy. And I think that Cannonier is going to get right through it and find his shots and land the more powerful thudding strikes that will end up being scored more favorably by the judges. And I think Jared Cannonier is going to win this fight.
I actually agree. I'm not as look, those notes looked clean. Woo! Someone did their homework. I like Cannonier as well. I'm going to back the guy that did his homework, took his notes. I'm glad I'm sticking with this side of the aisle. No offense, Lukey. You're a great picker.
I'm looking at best fight odds. There's no odds on this. What would you guys say?
I would set it at Cannonier plus 180.
Plus 180? Mm-hmm. That'd be lofty. I would do like I mean, I'd put it close to pick him. Cannonier plus 110.
And I mean, I did Google it. There wasn't anything on best fight odds, but Verdict MMA says 2 days ago, Jared Cannonier slight underdog against Nasruddin Imavov. 2 days ago.
So like plus 150, plus 130.
Plus 100 for Jared Cannonier, minus
so even.
Minus 120 for
not slight underdog.
Well, yeah, slight underdog plus 100.
Well, minus 100 and plus 100 are the same thing, right?
Yeah, I don't think Imavov is to be like, speaking of setting traps, I don't think he's the guy to be setting traps that Cannonier is going to be falling for. I think Imavov relies on being the longer guy who's cleaner in technique than the other dude. And more times than not, that's been successful for him. But I think Cannonier, especially over the course of 5 rounds, like you got to have, again, a little bit more of like a game plan behind it, or just like extreme power. And Imavov has none of those. So I think the power of Cannonier, I think he'll figure it out eventually. He's not going to be as clean, but probably around three towards the end, he's going to figure out the technique. He's going to be charging forward. He's going to be having the more powerful shots. I feel like if he could survive and ultimately win against Strickland, he'll have equal to more success against Imavov, who, again, as Alex brought up, has had cardio issues in the past. So to me, this equation is adding up to a slight win for Cannonier.
Okie dokie. Next, we got Dominic Reyes versus Dustin Jacoby.
Dustin Jacoby.
36-year-old Dustin Jacoby versus 34-year-old Dominic Reyes. Dominic Reyes, 4-fight losing streak dating back to his initial win streak 4 years and 6 months ago, where he beat Chris Weidman. Has not won since. He knocked out Weidman on Weidman's attempt at moving up to light heavyweight. He knocked out Weidman 4 years, 6 months ago to earn him his title shot against John Jones. From there, he's been finished by Jan, by Yuri, by Ryan Spann, and hasn't fought in a year and a half. Obviously, Dustin Jacoby is a good striker. You know, he's got that knockout win against Kennedy and Chukwi. He's got a knockout win against Da Jun. When he's lost, he's gone to decision. It's been, you know, against big guys, Khalil Roundtree, Alonzo Menafield. He lost to Osman Mirzakhanov a year ago. Dustin Jacoby has been fighting top caliber competition for a very long time. He's at Factory X Muay Thai. Dominic Reyes is at Elevation Fight Team, you know, and they're both in Colorado. I think they're both going to be really well prepared for this. Their physical attributes are pretty similar at this point. You know, 2 years younger Dominic Reyes, but with all those knockout losses and all that inactivity, you can't really calibrate him as like the younger, fresher fighter here, considering Jacoby fought Menafield 5 months ago. I think Menafield.
He's a former football player too, so concussions.
Yep. Jacoby or Reyes. Reyes. Yeah. And, you know, Menafield, I think, is really underrated right now. So 5 months ago was when Menafield got the better of Jacoby. I think that Menafield is like very underrated at this moment.
Didn't he just get smoked?
Yeah, but, you know, no, did he? No, I think you're thinking of something.
Yeah, he got knocked out in 12 seconds by Carlos Olberg.
Yeah. Well, that doesn't tell you anything.
I went to take a piss and I missed that fight.
Yeah.
Walkouts and all.
Tough action. You know, personally, I just think that Dominic Reyes, you can't take that amount of time off. I do believe in him. I do think he is very good. I do think he is very good. So I'm going to go with Jacoby, but I think that Reyes is good. I just don't think he is able to take punches anymore. I don't know, though. So I want to hear what you guys have to say, because here's my thought, right? The sensical pick is Jacoby. It's the one that makes sense. However, when it comes to Reyes and like he's in Colorado, that's where Jacoby is right now. So you got to think that he's kind of like scouted this match out a little bit. I don't know, like if he's training at Elevation, he's rubbing elbows with people, he's getting opinions. It's like, yeah, Jacoby's a good fight for you, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It could be the win that Reyes has been looking for so long.
And I think it can be.
Yeah, I think that like this is just going to be a refuse to lose kind of fight for Reyes, where like it obviously makes sense that we pick Jacoby here. It obviously makes sense that we reward good behavior in terms of like his wins, his activity, all that. But I just think this is going to be something that just doesn't make sense, and that we're not seeing the pain inside of Reyes, the competitiveness inside of Reyes, the desire to win. Jacoby ain't that dangerous. He can do it. I'm going to pick Dominic Reyes. It feels dirty, but I'm going to go with Reyes.
I mean, he's a dumbass, but one thing that is good that he pulled out against Carlos Olberg, because you saw what Carlos Olberg just did at Metafield, somebody Luke was just pretty high on. I think this is a fight that Reyes can win. I think both of these guys are a little chinny. If you look at Dustin Jacoby's last couple fights, or last, four of his last, three of his last four that he lost in, he lost those fights because he was getting knocked down in those fights. Yes, he did not get finished, but he was continuously getting knocked down by guys who don't necessarily have better striking credentials than him. Just guys that are more hearty, stronger, more athletic, not more durable, but more powerful for sure. Dominic Reyes is definitely more powerful than Dustin Jacoby. Dominic Reyes has lost to the cream of the crop, apart from Ryan Spann, which that Ryan Spann fight, let's see. He's been taking appropriate amounts of time off from those knockouts. Like, I'm in the opposite boat as Luke right here. I think that a guy like Dominic Reyes needs to take that time off after, getting knocked out 4 times in a row. We oftentimes will crucify guys for coming back at 3 months after getting knocked out. I think we should pat them on the back when they take a little time off and refresh that brain. I like that. I'm not going to go with Dominic Reyes here because I think he's going to end up being a dog, and this is going to be a good hedge play late in the night. I think Dominic Reyes is capable. I think the best possible bet on this one, I can't see them putting the over-under line anything over 1.5. So I'm going to go over 1.5 on this one. I don't think either of these guys are going to be able to put each other down. I think that, I think Dominic Reyes can put down Dustin Jacoby, but I think Dustin Jacoby is durable enough to get back up. I think that Dustin Jacoby won't be able to hit Dominic Reyes hard enough and clean enough to put him down. I love the over in this fight. I hope it's 1.5. If it's 2.5, I wouldn't take it, but over 1.5 is a great pick on this one. I'm going to go with Jacoby, but I think both these guys are chinny and anything can happen. And I definitely believe Reyes is capable of winning 3 out of the last 4 opponents that he lost to were world champions in this weight class. So, you got to give him his due. Dan.
Yeah, I'm going to triple P certify this one, go with Dominic Reyes. I swear, people, we did not talk about this pre-show.
I went Dustin Jacoby.
Oh, sorry, I pulled a Luke there. I'm going with Dominic Reyes. I'll side with Luke on this.
I think he went Dustin Jacoby too.
Oh, geez. Well, you both were very positive about Dominic Reyes going.
I know the glazing on fucking idiot Dominic Reyes, dumbass Dominic Reyes. We just pumped his tires for so long.
He's an idiot. Pretty simple. Jacoby has no power. I don't remember the last time he knocked anyone out. He's a good, solid kickboxer. He's just kind of there. He does the ones and twos really nice, but he doesn't have all that much pop behind him. And that's the downfall of Dominic Reyes. He goes up against these big, powerful dudes that knock him out. I don't know. Could he lose a decision? Yeah, that's definitely on the table. But like Luke said, this is a fight for your job, fight for your dream type situation. I think he does have some skills. He did fight for the title. He definitely has more power and probably more to fight for. So I like Reyes as a dog spot here. Not a lot of volume on it for me personally, but I think this is the spot.
And I do think the tail of the tape has this wrong. I think Reyes will be the much bigger guy in there. I think it will be evident once you see them next to each other. Reyes is much bigger than Dustin Jacoby.
Yeah, potentially.
Yep.
Definitely. Not potentially. Next up, we got Marquez versus Julian, the Cuban Missile Crisis. Marquez versus, what was the guy's name? Zach Reese. Zachary Reese, fought the same night as Joe. Suffered the same exact fate as Joe. Some people are saying Joe is coming back a little too fast. Luke said that, not me. I'm not going to say that. I think I think they are taking in a perfectly fine, appropriate amount of time. But I just think Julian Marquez is better than this guy. I think he's better than the guy that Reese faced in his last bout. I forget who he faced in his last bout. What was it, like Wacom Silver or something? Yo, whoa.
Oh, sorry. Thanks. Yeah, my drink was behind the laptop. Yeah, who did Zach Reese get slammed by? It was Cody Brundage.
Oh my gosh, could you think of a fucking worse guy to get dunked on by? Yeah, I'm going Julian Marquez. I think Julian Marquez is far better than Cody Brundage. Although, that's not really indicative of like who's better in that fight. Cody Brundage just got like a super fluky, lucky thing. You've never really seen that before. You never really see it. You've probably seen it like 10 times in mixed martial arts history over the fucking 35-year right now, 35-year history of the damn thing. So, I don't think that's indicative of it, but I love Julian Marquez. He's one of our COVID sweethearts. He's not really that good, but I think he beats Zachary Reese.
Zachary Reese trains in the same gym as that guy, Charlie, the American bad boy, Antiveros, who came into the UFC against Kevin Holland and was bounced out with 3 knockouts in a row. Kevin Holland, Garcia, and Benitez. Anthony Ivy was also in the UFC for a little bit. Been staying busy.
He's in the same gym?
Yeah, we're training.
Oh my gosh. So those two guys, both guys who never got a win in the UFC, lost every single fight they've ever had, are both from this guy's gym.
Never got a win in the UFC, yeah. So Anthony Ivy, yeah. So and then also Trevin Giles.
Sucks. He's the best in their gym.
So I'm going to go with Marquez as well, just because I think coming back off that knockout loss really quickly, Marquez is pretty good, powerful. Think he can get the win. But, Zach Reese could surprise some people, go in there, maybe get the win. I'm not sure. Not a fight I'm super passionate about betting. I'll try to figure it out for you guys. But I just, Joe Ugly Man Holmes, right? Like, these are the guys who have come from this gym, War Training Center, and come into the UFC. No one has really impressed, right?
Wow, me.
Yeah. So will Zach Reese be the first? He's already off to a bad start, losing to Cody Brundage, right? Marquez is only 34. He just got knocked out, but he took a year off. Is that year off? Is it better that he took a year and 2 months off from getting knocked out and has had the inactivity but is recovered, or that this guy's in that time fought 3 times, but most recently was knocked out 5 months ago, right? Who knows? Just a bump on the head. I like Marquez here to get it done. Just going to go with history repeating itself as far as the Zach Reese thing going on. Yeah, I'll go with
for
Marquez.
his gym, not for Joe. Joe will win this weekend. Don't worry.
So history repeating as far as, the gym. Like,
Good save, Alex.
I'm saying the pedigree of the people at the gym. That's what I'm dead serious. That's what I meant.
I know, but it's going to get brought up. These guys both fought on the same card, both had the same exact thing happen, and now they're fighting 1 week apart. So somebody's going to bring up the hypocrisy that we're going against Zach Reese and we're taking Joe Selecki. And the reasoning is Joe Selecki has a fucking resume in the UFC and has shown us against really good UFC fighters that he can fight. Where this guy, all we've seen him is fight the fucking worst UFC fighter that we know, Cody Brundage.
Joe has lost before and been knocked out before. Not too recently, but it has happened.
Yeah.
There was something I was going to say, which was...
Nicholas Mata, another UFC fighter.
No. Forget what it was. Yeah, I mean, it's a tough one. I kind of do think Zach Reese is going to end up winning. Just because of, like, his look, his build, I don't know, his age, kind of that's one thing. What's so funny? I said Roma Dolideze and Michel Pereira are like the same guy. They were scheduled for this card. Roma Dolideze was supposed to fight him. That's crazy.
Dang, that'd be a banger. That'd be awesome.
That would be amazing.
Michel Pereira would fucking love that.
Oh, he would fucking leave him in a.
He would destroy it.
It'd
be fun to watch.
Go for a leg lock on Michel Pereira. Have fun when he backflips you in the fucking head.
For me, I here's the thing. I like Reese, I just don't know if he has the experience necessary to actually pull it out. He's 6-1. He probably didn't learn all that much from getting slammed on his head. So he's really got like 6 fights in there. I feel like Marquez, he fades out real quick, like rounds 2 and 3, but he's still a imposing force. So does Zach Reese, is he going to have the intelligence in there to recognize that he's got this gassed opponent, even though he's a big hulking figure, to push the pace? He'll be tired too, but recognize, I know I'm tired, but I'm less tired than this guy. Move forward, take the kill. I don't know if Zach Reese is there yet. What?
Are you telling me the Cuban Missile has a fuel crisis?
It does have a fuel crisis. It absolutely does. Those Russians, those rockets. I mean, I don't really believe
So should he be the North Korean missile crisis?
That's good. You kind of feel what I'm saying here. So I like Zach Reese. I feel like on paper he's better, but Marquez has had a lot of quality fights in there in the UFC at the highest level. I'm gonna go with Reese. He's a smart kid. He's a good lad.
Shout out to
He'll figure it out.
Baseball player, Luke. Remember we went to the Hall of Fame that one time with Daniel.
Yeah. Yep.
Pookie.
Wait, who's the player? What?
Pookie Reese.
Pookie Reese. He was a nice little backup for the Red Sox for a while. Pokey Reese, I believe. Pokey Reese.
Oh, you're thinking of Mookie Betts. He played on the Red Sox.
No, I'm not thinking of Mookie Betts. I'm thinking of Pokey Reese.
No, he did play on the Red Sox, though, Mookie Betts.
I know he played on the Red Sox, but I'm not thinking of him. I'm thinking of Pokey Reese, who you're thinking of.
Who played
or maybe some. He's definitely not a Hall of Famer. He's not even.
He's definitely not a Hall of Famer.
He wasn't even a starter, so not a Hall of Famer.
No, he was for the Pirates, of course. Come on.
No, you're thinking of someone else.
I think it's crazy that they pay Shohei Ohtani that much money.
Especially
Why?
if he's just going to go get it all on his own.
I don't even know who he is. I've never even heard of him until I heard about how much money he was making. And I know baseball. Yeah.
You didn't know who Shohei Ohtani was?
Well, he pitches and hits. He's got the highest batting average in baseball right now.
Yeah, and he's pretty much a Japanese.
I don't. But I'm saying no. I'm just saying that the money's not there. The marketing's not there. If I don't know about him, if it hasn't made it
Japanese,
Luke, then he can't possibly be worth that much because
he can.
And I should be knowing about him.
Hey,
you know that he was on the East Coast. You know about
heard of Habib Nurmagomedov? You ever heard of him? He's really big somewhere else that you're not from, you dumbass. That's how he's so big. He's Japanese. He's the Japanese star. He hits,
but he's getting
pitches,
$1 billion.
He does it all. He's a Babe Ruth. He's the Japanese Babe Ruth. Luke. Come on.
He's getting Jerry Seinfeld money. He should be a household name. That's all I gotta say.
This is
why? So you can just make dumb movies about pastries?
He should be in movies. That's what I'm trying to say.
That movie sucked. That was bad.
It was bad. That's your hot take. That's your hot tart.
It's like, that's your takeaway?
Was it live action or animated?
There was no dudes. It was people.
Is it animated or live action?
Do you just call every movie that's ever happened pretty much live action? It was a standard movie with people.
Oh, okay. It was live action. Yeah, dude. I mean, that's crazy. I would assume they would make that movie with AI and cartoons. Pop-Tart movie. You would assume a Pop-Tart movie is like when I heard that there was a Pop-Tart movie, I thought it was like that other food movie. What's the food? Sausage Party. I was like, oh, it's like a sausage.
No. It was like a not a take on it, but it was like a mirror of the Cold War. Like you have these two superpowers in the cereal world, each trying to build the Pop-Tart.
You have these two superpowers in the cereal world. It's genius, Jerry.
That's Bill when he heard about.
You sounded more like Bobby Kelly.
I thought it was a Cat Williams, like a bad Cat Williams.
Oh no, I could do a better Cat Williams.
I know you could. I was confused.
Jerry Seinfeld took a 17-year-old girl. No, I don't know. I don't know. That was just Cat. I don't know what he was saying.
If you could communicate this product, you can make money off the product.
But Jerry's been talking about Pop-Tarts for years. He probably just, I mean, he probably just didn't hire enough writers.
I mean, he had like 19 celebrities in the movie. I'm pretty sure he had good writers or like whatever he needed.
This is a movie. We sit here, we eat Pop-Tarts, we have a good time. This is the movie.
Dude, oh man. Yeah. No, I didn't watch it. You know, it's like, why would I watch that?
I don't know. I gave it a chance.
But you knew you were going to be disappointed, didn't you? Like, you knew.
Well, I'm a glutton for punishment. I'm drinking Michelob Ultra.
That's a great beer and very low in calories. It's a great bang for your buck. You know, that's the opposite of a movie. It's not asking a lot of you at all. It's just saying, hey, I'm here if you need me.
Do you see Miller Lite's marketing? Miller Lite's marketing is like, we're just one more calorie.
Yo, can you hear my dog right now? Can you hear him?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Can you hear me talking, you fuck?
That extra calories. I hear that extra calorie is the one that gets you, though.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
It's the necessary one. You know what I mean?
But I love that marketing. It's like, come on, what are you, a pussy? It's one extra calorie. What do you? Oh yeah. You're really going to the gym on that Michelob Ultra, you fucking alcoholic.
This burned. Like, this is a calorie. Like, that burned.
Yeah.
Dude, it's crazy. Not health advice. You're never gonna get me. So basically, this is kind of crazy. This is a crazy card. There's a lot of better fights too coming up that I'm very excited about. Fights with lines I'm excited about. Fights I'm excited to watch.
Later down this card or later in the year?
No, this card right here.
I was about to say there's some good cards. Wait, how do you have any lines on this? Who's your?
I'm on bestfightodds.com, and it says DraftKings and BetRivers and Betway is what it says. 5 minutes as of 5 minutes ago, it's saying have some odds. Now, apparently, other sources besides Best Fight Odds, which I don't know how the fuck they can legally call themselves Best Fight Odds, if other places are telling me that the main event of the June 8th card is a pick'em. How is the main event a pick'em on other places, but Best Fight Odds? Maybe they're telling us, hey, we're giving you the best fight odds. Like, if DraftKings...
The best legal fight odds.
I don't know. But, I mean... But, hey, it's safe to assume that the Cannonier fight is going to open up at a relative pick'em and remain there for a while. Should we just go Belmar? I'm just going to go Belmar. Listen, kids. Sweetheart.
Sweetheart, I've been watching fights while you were in diapers.
Okay, so here's my thing. I'm just Dan needs to leave that dog alone. Like, nothing he's doing now is gonna change a damn thing, right, Alex?
He's putting a muzzle on it.
That would change something, but I'm saying he's not doing that. And if he were, that would be the only thing Dan could do in there besides like giving
or
it
hitting it.
No, that wouldn't change anything.
It might.
It wouldn't change anything. The dog would bark more. But
I don't know. You said you made one comment about mine.
At the time he gets from his desk to the dog has stopped barking. It doesn't even remember why it's getting hit at that point. Has no fucking idea. So that's what I'm trying to say. If you have, Dan, you're not going to be able to help it. Just don't worry about it. The people are okay with the dog barking. It's fucking endearing.
I can help it. I helped. You don't hear any barking anymore, do you?
Okay, well,
I got Gnome on the scene.
Just make sure
he gave it the Israel Adesanya treatment, Luke. He gave it the Israel Adesanya treatment and took care of everything.
He loved it. He gave it a lot of love, and I respect that.
A little too much.
No, never no such thing as too much love. Cookies. Everything needs love, even cookies. If you can comment what movie that's from in the chat, you get money. How much money?
If you give a mouse a cookie.
No.
Do you guys understand my Chrissy Gnome reference? I feel like it's fallen flat 2 times.
Who's Chrissy Gnome?
You get 1 penny.
Noam Chomsky?
Nah. She's the governor of South Dakota. She was a potential running mate of Mr. Donald J. Trump, but she put out her biography where she kind of bragged that she shot her dog in the face. She's like, well, the dog wasn't useful anymore, and she was nibbling at my grandchildren. And now she's kind of politically dead. Not in South Dakota. She'll still win governorship again if she wants, but on a national level.
I thought you were saying that she just put her dog down without taking it to a vet to put it down, which I would just say is kind of a cultural and regional kind of thing,
Yeah, and you know what? I always have this problem. I always have this problem.
It was weird.
Dick Cheney shoots a guy in the face. Nobody says boo. Ray Lewis allegedly does a murder, and no one says boo. Mike Vick kills a couple dogs. Wah, wah, wah. He's the only one who sees jail time. That's what I don't get.
You don't get it? because dogs can't defend themselves. People are not born innocent. Dogs are, okay? No one gives a fuck if you do something to a person because people are evil, but animals are innocent. They just are little automatons that are just here to love us, okay? So leave the dogs alone. Leave the animals alone. But by leave them alone, I mean don't possess them. Like, leave them alone. Do not take ownership of them. Nobody should be out here owning dogs, like, as pets. Nothing. Yeah, no. Nobody should have a dog.
I agree.
If I was
the scourge of our century,
I would say no pets. I would come into office and say, executive order, you are not allowed to own a pet. And you know what I would do, Dan? I would just make the executive order, right? I would make it. I'm not going to, like, tell the FBI to go start arresting people who are having pets or anything. I'm just going to make the executive order. I'm not going to enforce it. I'm not going to do anything about it.
Oh, no, I'll go Waco. I'll go Waco for your dog.
What it'll do is it will create such a crazy time in our country where everyone are in the streets marching with their dogs and their cats and their goldfish and their turtles and shit, and they're in the streets, and then you have little girls and they're like, Mr. President, I wrote this essay in my class. My teacher, Mrs. Saxon, told me that you want to take away my dog. I think that is unfair. If I were the president, I would actually say that more people should have dogs. Everyone like claps for her, you know.
And then meanwhile, you could pass whatever you want.
Everything's happening under the table while they're everything. I'm like, okay, every drug is legal. I'm just doing crazy shit under the table that no one's paying attention to. I'm like, books are banned.
No gambling tax. No taxes on gambling anymore.
No gambling tax. And no bookies. Like, you don't have to have a license to be a bookmaker. I would do that. I'd be like, anybody can be a bookie. But it would be Uber for bookies. And I would make sure that I got a cut of the company. I'd be like, I want 50% of the company. I want all the shares in my account. Like some Dick Cheney, Raytheon.
You're Pelosi in it.
More like Dick Cheney. More like, you know, like, I don't know. I'm a Cheneyan.
I see you more as a girl boss. I don't know. Just
okay.
Me.
Okay. But yeah, but that's what these guys got to do. Imagine that. Just getting these idiots. Nobody would think it was fake. Everybody would be like, I can't. Did you hear talk about priorities, right? People are dying of fentanyl on the streets, and this guy's talking about our pets. And you hear what he said?
Will be like, Bryce Mitchell will be going nuts.
My dog's never bitten anybody. Like, just get him going. You know,
Bryce Mitchell would be going nuts. He'd be like, you can come to Arkansas and try to take my dog for sure. You could try that, brother. Did you see him with his baby?
If you
did you see the video of him with his baby?
Yes, I support him 150,000%. I agree with everything he said.
No.
He said he just had a baby and he didn't get it vaccinated, which is not up to me. That's up to God. Okay. Okay, sweetheart.
We'll talk about the Patreon.
We don't do Patreon anymore.
We'll do one. Guys, if you want to know, just talk about the Patreon. Listen, we got to get into it. Unless you want to, Alex. I'll make you big if you want to tell everybody what Bryce said verbatim. But unless you're going to quote him verbatim, no, don't quote him verbatim.
I am going to quote him verbatim.
Don't quote him verbatim.
He didn't say anything that bad. It's just crazy. It's just crazy.
But here's the thing. I formally don't think it's crazy.
Dan, basically what he did was he went to first of all, if you're going to the hospital to have a baby and you want none of this to happen, you're a psycho. Just have a fucking water birth, you loser. Anyway,
I get a little bit annoyed when people like. It's one thing if you want to be Mr. Big Shot, but then be Mr. Big Shot. Like then exactly what you said.
Mr. Big Shot.
Don't need anybody. Then why are you asking for their help at all anyway?
Don't even get a birth certificate. Just have the baby at home.
Don't even get a birth. Like go the extra mile. Like let's go, baby. Like no birth certificate. Like
if you needed
let's have some off-grid kids.
If you needed the hospital to have the kid, then you should have to answer to the hospital at the hospital. The hospital's calling the shots. If you want to have an undocumented child, it's on your terms, brother. You got to do it at home. You got to take your woman out in the back. You got to put a cloth down, just like a cat. Pull that sucker out of there yourself.
Gotta be annoying. It's got to be annoying to be a hospital and to be like, we do this shit every day, 45 times a day, and this guy is going to come in and, having never done this at all, tell us everything that we're doing wrong. And that has to be annoying, you know?
Super. Yeah.
Imagine you work in a rest. Like, imagine you work anywhere. Imagine your job and somebody just comes into your job and is like, and another thing, you're not touching this and you're not doing that. And you're just like, dude, like,
So now maybe like when
you came to me, bro. Like, yo, you came to me. I didn't know you.
Audience, Luke just realized one of his biggest faults in his life. I have a friend who's an astronomer, tells him about space all the time. I have friends who are doctors. Luke tells them about medicine all the time. Luke just literally called himself out without even fucking realizing a thing. He talks to people in pharma like they don't know anything about anything. He talks to astronomers like they don't know anything about anything.
Their job. I talk to them outside. I don't go 9 to 5 to their job. He's in the hospital. Like he's
literally begging for their help. He literally took his wife there in an emergency scenario. It was an emergency. Her water broke and he panicked.
Well, I mean, listen, I do believe that people should, in our country, we should have institutions, and those institutions should be basic things like fire departments, police stations, schools, and hospitals. And in those institutions, you should expect a normal degree of elective choice. And we do have that, and that is completely fine. But in high pressure situations, people tend to get pretty aggressive, and hospitals do like to explain to you, hey, you are relinquishing a certain amount of liability when you forego certain procedures that we over time believe are better for our bottom line of not fucking letting people come out of here with being injured and shit, So at the end of the day, we're doing what we think's best for our bottom line. You might think that's nefarious or evil. That's up to you. But we're just letting you know if some shit does go wrong, we ain't liable. So sign this fucking document. And that's all you have to do. And then everything's fine. But don't get mad at them for being reasonably annoyed at your attitude when you're in pretty much the same situation as like a car accident, and you're like, that's like going to somebody in a car accident, like, where's your insurance? And I'm not giving you my insurance. And you, it's like, it's already a little bit of a charged situation. Everybody, let's just calm down.
It's all charged up.
When I added my kid, my birth church said to me, anything you're uncomfortable with, just say these magic words. I'll sign the waiver. Hey, I'll sign the waiver. I don't want to do that. I'll sign the waiver. I don't want to do that. I'll sign a waiver. Whatever I need to sign, so I don't have to do that, I'll sign it. And then you sign it, and then just be drunk so that your signature means nothing. Kidding. Okay. Dustin Stoltz, Bruno Ferreira, 11-1. Bruno Ferreira, 15-5. Dustin Stoltz. Pennsylvanians, Dustin Stoltz. Stoltz Farms, Pennsylvania. Dustin Stoltz, farm boy out of PA. Mushroom man of PA. The king of Pennsylvania. Dan and Alex better watch their mouths because Stoltz is going to put the hurting on him. He's everywhere. I see Stoltz Farm signs everywhere in PA. Shout out to Stoltz. Shout out to Stoltz Farms. I like Dustin Stoltz. I think he gets destroyed in this fight. This is where the chickens come home to roost. He should have lost to Punalele Sorano. He should have lost to Dwight the Body Snatcher Grant. This is where he loses. This is where it all goes to shit. Bruno Ferreira, the Hulk, is a fucking absolute assassin. He knocked out RoboCop. He knocked out Phil Halls. I'm going with Ferreira all day, the Hulk. And this fight, I think, does have odds. If you look at the odds on this fight, what I'm seeing is nothing actually. Sorry, I'm not seeing any odds on bestfightodds.com. Boys, sorry.
This one is pretty straight up and down. I'm also going with Bruno Ferreira. Way too much firepower for Mr. Stoltz to match. I don't even know how Stoltz could possibly win. Is he going to wrestle him? No. This guy is literally called the Hulk. You're not going to take him down. It's going to stay standing, and it's going to be it's going to be nightmarish for Mr. Stoltz. I can say that. Bruno Ferreira all the way. Easy pick.
I'd rather be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. And Dustin Stoltz is a gardener in the war. Pennsylvania, Stoltz Farms, comes from a family of farmers. Apparently Sean Strickland said it himself. Dustin Stoltz is a gardening Yogi Bear type of expatriate. He's German now, right? Isn't he? I think it's somebody else.
Not to interrupt you, Alex, but like I do think that there's a certain degree of like tongue-in-cheekness to some of that, which is like what did Sean Strickland like see him doing a stretch once and like just made this narrative up in his fucking mind? You know what I mean? Like how intimately does he know Dustin Stoltz? Does he just kind of like very cursory kind of know?
Well, I think that's what he's saying. I think he's like, you're at Extreme Couture, you're afraid to spar with me, you're not getting in here with Chris Curtis, you're not getting in here with the other guys, you're sitting here hitting pads, picking daisies, picking your nose, doing all types of lame stuff. Like I said, rather be a warrior in a garden. Like, me and these fellas here, we could easily take up our arms, fight in the UFC whenever we want. But, we choose not to. We like our brain. We like how it works, how it functions.
Dude, Dan couldn't. We could.
I could not.
Oh, I don't think
Dan doesn't have a wrestling base, dude. Dan doesn't have a wrestling base.
You could learn how to wrestle.
Anyone could wrestle. It's an easy sport.
Alex Pierre can learn how to wrestle. Dan can learn how to wrestle too. He's
got a black belt already. It's insane.
Yo, I want to do street beefs. Get me in there with that old man jiu-jitsu guy.
Dude, a guy from Joe Selecki's gym, Salty Dog, does street beefs. His name is Baby Hulk or something like that.
There's this one guy who's like 60 years old, no hair, and like does jiu-jitsu or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, there's no way that guy could beat me. No way.
You ever see the one crazy guy who gets his arm broken, who like goes in like a suit like a suit, and he's like, I am the warrior number one, or some shit like that. And he always fights like this, and he's like, ha, you almost got me there. Ha! He literally is like a street fighter character.
Is it the guy that looks kind of like CB Dalloway?
Yeah.
I love that guy.
And he wears a shirt and tie.
Fair Play is the best, though.
Fair Play.
Like I think his name's Fair Play. He has like the suspenders or whatever. Anyway, we'll get into street beefs talk later, guys. We got a card to break down. Sorry.
Not that much left. I mean, we're almost done. We usually go 2 hours.
We're doing great. Bruno
Ferreira on time. Ferreira emphatically. I mean, it really shouldn't take that much breakdown. Dan, did you give a pick on this one, Ferreira or Stoltz?
Yeah, I picked.
Perfect. So Sorano versus Baeza, a much more interesting matchup to break down in the sense that
hardest matchup of the entire card.
Oh, I disagree entirely. Puno Lele Sorano looks like the beta version of Miguel Baeza. Like Caramel Thunder looks like when Urkel goes into the fucking Stefan machine and then comes out and he's Stefan. That's what Puno Lele Sorano does to become Miguel Baeza. Like this guy is cuter, he's sexier, he's hotter, he's stronger. He looks like The Rock, only younger. He looks like young Rocky. I'm going Miguel Baeza. Easy pick. And I think this fight has odds. Let's see. Miguel Baeza. No, there's no odds. There's no odds for any of these guys. We're so ahead of the lines. Like we're setting the lines. The ops are lurking right now. The ops are lurking. DraftKings, BetMGM, FanDuel, they're lurking. They're in there. The ops, they're like, all right, what did Luke say he wants? I'll tell you. Give me minus 150 Miguel Baeza and I'll bet it. Give me minus 150 Miguel Baeza. I want minus 150.
Hey, I'll be fresh as hell if the Fed's watching. 2 chains, 1 set. Dan, what do you think about this one? Luke's going.
Baeza's going to smoke Sorano. Leg kicks galore. Soriano's a one-trick pony, man. He's got a big, powerful left. Baeza's going to be... He's going to be ducking and weaving and jiving all the way out of that. So, it could be Miguel Baeza. Athletic, experienced. He's had his lumps in the UFC, to say the least, but I think he's going to turn the corner. He's too talented to be losing all these fights, and he's way more talented in one left foot than Puno Sorano. No disrespect, but
yeah, talent is the key factor here. Genetics, aesthetics.
Dude, what does fucking Hanato Moicano say on the Show Me the Money podcast all the time? He says, This is ultimate disrespect.
He says, homie is in trouble.
No, not that. it's his disrespect line. He's like, this is something disrespect every time. I can't think of it. But yeah, dude, I was thinking of Miguel Baeza. Now that you guys are saying it, it's not as sexy. It's not as fun. It's not as cool. Yeah, cooler than all those fucking guys. Nate Diaz style, baby. But here's my piece. Right? Like Andre Fiallo fucking sucks. We all know that. But
I like Andre Fiallo.
I like Andre Fiallo myself.
I'm the only guy who thinks Andre Fiallo is actually pretty good.
But he just got knocked out so many times in the UFC. Like it's like,
hey, sorry for party rocking. Like sometimes it's like, sorry for party rocking. I fight. I fucking get in there and I fight. It's called a fight. You know what I mean? Like I'm throwing punches. They're throwing punches. Sometimes I get knocked the fuck out. Like 5 losses in the UFC, 2 wins. Yeah, the Tim Means loss. That's a bit pathetic.
No, it's not. Tim Means is the man.
Like, Tim Means isn't powerful. Like he doesn't have fucking power anymore. The Michelle Pereira decision, no disrespect. The Jake Matthews knockout, a little bit embarrassing. The Muslim Salakov knockout, a little bit embarrassing. Joaquin Buckley, no disrespect. He's in UAE Warriors now. He just got knocked out by somebody. So it's like, I think this is more of like the compounded interest style effect of the knockouts themselves leading to the next knockout. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and he's not taking a lot of time off in between any of these. So
that's what I'm saying. It's like, okay, is he that bad, or is he like a gambling addict that's like not taking a break for enough time, and he's just like he's in the tunnel of chaos, like
he's not just only betting his perfect parlay when he needs to retire. He's going out there balls to the wall every time.
2 knockouts in 2022, 1 knockout in 2020. No, 2 knockouts in 2022, 2 knockouts in 2023, 1 knockout in 2024, and we're only halfway through the year.
Yeah, and for some reason I remember Baeza getting knocked out by Ponzinibbio. Did he get like floored a few times by Ponzinibbio in that fight? Or because I thought exactly how I thought the fight went. I thought Baeza won the first and maybe even the second round, and then got floored and knocked out. But in reality, he lost the decision.
No, I thought he got knocked out. It was a decision?
Yeah, unanimous decision.
It was a blood and guts war, though. I remember that.
It was a fun fight. And then he got right back on the horse very short time later, 5 months, and then gets knocked out by Chaos Williams. No shame in that. But, another 5 months, and then he gets knocked out. So maybe it was just a testament to not enough time, not enough rest in that noggin. And I think that the time off will actually help him a ton in this one. That's why I'm going with Baeza. I was about to switch just because these guys were glazing Baeza so hard, and he's on the 3-fight skid and hasn't really beaten anybody of too much guster. And even in that Matt Brown fight, I remember, guys, Matt Brown was kicking his ass in the first round, and Baeza turned it on and knocked him out and was just faster.
I just say that Baeza's career, like the wins that he has, 6 of them, the first 6 fights that he did were 5 fights that 6 fights that he did were Portugal regional fights. Like against 0-0 guys, 8-12 guy, like 13-7 guy. These are just Portugal regional guys. Not a high like caliber of competition. Then he gets 2 wins in Bellator before getting knocked out by Chidi Njokwani, up to that point the only UFC caliber opponent he faced, right? Gets a split decision win in Bellator, a majority decision win in Bellator. So at the time in his career where he's had 10 fights before he fought Chris Curtis again, and losing. So now at this point he fights Chris Curtis. That's his 11th.
Who the fuck are you talking about?
I'm still talking about fucking Andre Fiallo.
Andre Fiallo.
But this is all just to say that like this guy beat Baeza. And if you think about it, Baeza is the only good guy.
All right, since we're spending all this time on Andre Fiallo,
is Baeza good? So is Baeza good if he is the only good win that Andre Fiallo fucking has? Is he good? Because who's he beaten, right? It's like his amateur results. I'm going off Baeza based on like what I see. His body type, his speed, his power, his skills. But his record, right? Like you said, Matt Brown, Takashi Sato, and that's that. And
Matt Brown beat the shit out of him in the first round. If you remember that fight, Matt Brown was putting it on him in that first round.
I do remember that.
It was during COVID.
So, I mean, it's difficult to really actually to look back on it. It's like, at least when you look at Punahele Soriano, he's at Extreme Couture. At least he's been in there with the likes of Brendan Allen, Nick Maximoff, Dustin Solvitz, Roman Kopylov, Dolce Longambula, Dusko Todorovic, and, Jamie Pickett. Like, he's had a lot of, even though he just isn't the top of the UFC, it's a big sandwich of UFC guys. But the results are the same as fucking Baeza's. So what do we do with this? I go with the guy that I just look at the eyeball test. I say, this guy looks like a better fighter than that guy. you got to go with that sometimes. That's what I'm going with. There's nothing sexy about their records that's going to convince you to pick either of them.
But MMA Masters is better than Extreme Couture.
I don't think so at all.
Ricardo Lamas, Nate the Train, Anthony Bracco, Martin, K.S. Covington, Ilya Taporia, Luke.
Okay,
Themba.
But I think that what happened to MMA Masters is a lot more isolated, specific kind of pairings and trainings. It's not like going into Extreme Couture and it's a fucking meat grinder of just like unlimited high caliber classes and competition at all times, you know?
Well,
so,
what's better? What's better, MMA Masters or
I don't know what Baeza is doing over there. I don't know what Baeza is doing. I don't know. Is he training with anybody good over at MMA Masters? Or are those guys just training with their people who they bring in for their camps with the coaches there? You know, Rafael Cordero and is that who it is? No, not Rafael Cordero. I'm thinking of somebody else.
No, I think it is Rafael Cordero.
No, Rafael Cordero is the fucking guy out west. Cesar Carnero. That's who I was thinking of. Cesar Carnero. Yeah.
King's MMA isn't.
Yes, that's how.
Wait, MMA Masters is out west too, is it not?
No, MMA Masters is Florida.
Florida, maybe.
You're mixing it up with King's MMA. You're mixing MMA Masters up with King's MMA.
You're mixing them up with the Black Zillions.
No, that is Henry Hoof's gym, which is it's Black Zillions, but it's now it was also Stanford MMA, and it was it was another thing too, though. It was Killcliff FC.
Killcliff FC, yeah.
Okay, let's get it in again. Raul Rosas Jr., Ricky Turcios, very interesting fight. Raul Rosas Jr. already bitched out. That night in Mexico, he would have lost. He was 19. Pretty Ricky's 31. Pretty Ricky was down to make the walk. Raul Rosas Jr. got the stomach ache and didn't make the walk. You'll remember that, guys. You will remember that. That should have been a disqualification. It should have been a loss. But it wasn't. So now it's been a year and 6 months since Ricky Turcios won a split decision against Kevin Natividad. I think that he's made himself now hard to deal with the UFC. I believe he loses this fight. I don't believe he would have lost that night in Mexico, but something was changed. Something was altered. It's a new situation. I have to throw my old opinions out. I have to assume that Raul Rosas Jr., it's like Kevin Spacey in the movie 21.
I don't think it's much like Kevin Spacey at all.
Let me explain.
You would love 21.
Kevin Spacey in 21, he shows the 3-door problem. He goes, behind one door is a car, behind 2 doors are goats. And he goes, pick a door. And that picking the door, that is Raul Rosas Jr. going, I pick that door. And then they go, hey, do you want to switch doors? And he says, I do want to switch doors, which is to say, I'm actually not going to fight him tonight. Fuck him. It's my decision. I'm going to switch doors. And in the movie, the kid says, I will switch doors because you've given me an extra 33.33 repeating % increase in probability of getting it right. Because at first, my selection was based on 1 and 3. I had a 33% chance, but now my selection is getting to pick again. And I already eliminated it, so now I'm getting to. I don't know. I don't know, Matt.
That actually doesn't make any fucking sense whatsoever.
All right, you guys make your picks, and I'll look it up real quick.
I'm going to go with Pretty Ricky
the Monty
on this
Hall problem, idiot.
Huh?
The Monty Hall problem.
But that doesn't make no damn sense, Luke. You still have to eliminate. You don't just eliminate the door you originally picked.
Okay, I'll tell the audience. So basically, the contestants should switch to the other door because by standard assumption, the switching strategy has a 66% winning probability, while the strategy of keeping the initial choice only has a 1 in 3 probability. When you made the initial choice, it was 1 in 3. But now that you're getting a chance to switch, you know the first one wasn't it, so now you're getting to switch.
But you don't know it's not it yet, do you?
When the player makes their first choice, there's a 2 in 3 chance the car is behind one of the doors not chosen. The probability does not change after the host reveals the goat behind one of the unchosen doors. When the host provides the information about the 2 unchosen doors, revealing that one of them does not have the car behind it, the 2 in 3 chance of the car being behind one of the unchosen doors rests on the unchosen and unrevealed door, as opposed to the 1 in 3 chance of the car being behind the door the contestant chose initially. Does that make sense to you?
And that actor should have said, and by the way, you should switch from underage children to regular adults. That should be the switch as well. 2 switches. Switch that door, switch that age group, and you'll be golden, Kevin.
Luke, you didn't clarify that the first time you answered, the doors opened and that you are wrong. That was, you were like, you guess the door and they don't open the door, and then you have a 66% chance of getting it right if you switch. And I was like, that doesn't make no goddamn sense because you don't know you're wrong on the first one, so it's still the same exact odds.
Nope, it's different odds, and I just read why, and I can't read it again. Okay.
No, because you said he opened the door and told you that the goat's behind the first door that you picked. So yes, clearly the odds changed. So you should switch your door.
Well, no, he's revealing that the goat is behind one of the two doors you did not pick. You make your choice. You make your choice, and he goes, "Okay, let's see if."
So now it's a 50-50. You keep your door or pick the other one.
Nope, it's 66% if you switch. Okay,
yeah.
I explained why. Go read the Wikipedia article.
I understand what you're saying, but it's still wrong.
Yeah,
it's not. It's literally not wrong, Alex. I learned about this before the movie.
It's still
wrong. Brag about being a mathlete, right? And then he'll sit here and be like, not Terrence Howard. Are you doing Terrynomics? Are you doing Terrynomics?
I'm doing Terrynomics right now.
Is this Terryology, dude? Are you doing Terryology on me? Like, listen, just think about it while Dan talks about who he's going to select: Ricky Turcois or RRJ.
Look, obviously, Rosas Jr. is going to roll this guy. Ricky Turcois, just what can we say about this guy? I mean, he's like the male version of shoot. Now the joke's not going to land. Who's the female from New York, New Jersey, the blonde who does the
Caitlin
Caitlin, he is the male Caitlin Chukagian. It's a jab followed by a lot of noise, and that's how we get a win. Not going to be enough against a kid who's full of, just anger and just hatred towards the world because he's a young man listening to Blink 182. He's 20 years old. He's going to go out there, get a takedown, and choke the life out of this guy. Easy pick, easy outcome. If it's minus 500, don't bet it. But, anything else should be pretty good to go.
I'm going with Ricky Turcois. And because this whole fucking goat car thing doesn't make any goddamn sense. Because guess what? Raul Rosas Jr. didn't know the outcome of what was going to happen that night. And if you're getting tummy aches from Montezuma's revenge, you ain't even no real Mexican. As far as I'm concerned, you can't even drink the water down there, whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah. I just think that Ricky Turcois is going to go out there, have his way with him, just be stronger, more experienced, more depth. The only thing that makes me worried is that Ricky Turcois is a guy who will accept bottom position. But I don't know. Even though Raul Rosas Jr. has all of the evidence of being on steroids, I do not want to believe that a 19-year-old kid on steroids can beat up a 30-year-old. I mean, he's got the tummy aches like Gordon Ryan. He's got the big jaw like Peyton Manning's forehead. Everything's there. He's got the big jaw like Dwayne Wade. He's got it all. He's got all the telltale signs. But, I still think that Luke, 30 years old, could beat up a 19-year-old kid on steroids. Like, Dan, I think you could beat up a 19-year-old kid on steroids. I don't think there's many 19-year-old kids that can beat up 30-year-olds. Just based on the body, I think this is going to be like, Christian Rodriguez is probably a lot better than Ricky Turcois, though. Ricky Turcois has got a flowy game. He can definitely take your back. He can definitely make you pay. He can definitely... I think he's going to be better on the feet than homeboy Raul Rosas Jr. Raul Rosas Jr. I think he's going to be better on the feet, and I think that the only problem Ricky Turcois will have is if he concedes guard, and he's been prone to do that, so it's dumb that I'm going to pick him, but I'm picking Ricky Turcois. I'm not going to be too heavy on it, but I think he's going to win.
Okay.
He's going to pull guard.
He's more developed, dude. He's just a more developed man.
I don't know. He's kind of a skinny ass.
Yeah, he's a bag of bones. What are you talking about?
He looks like your friend who works at the movie theater and drives a puke green Honda Civic.
Hey, just because Raul Rosas Jr.'s chin grew in before everything else doesn't mean that he's developed, okay? His chin's developed, for sure. He's got that Courtney Casey on him. But
that, Mexican beef chin.
Yes. Luke, that's what I was saying when you were gone. He's got all the telltale signs of being on steroids. He's got the big jaw. He's got the tummy aches like Gordon Ryan. And Gordon Ryan admittedly does this. This isn't even a legend. So there you go. So what's that say about George St. Pierre with his tummy aches hanging out in the same camp? What's going on? I'm not saying nothing. But I will say he poisoned Nick Diaz's water, allegedly.
Next, we got Denise Gomes. So Rachel will be certifying him no, because Alex is going with Turquoise. We got Denise Gomes versus Eduardo Mora. This is a 14-fight card, guys. We got to stay a little bit on topic for the rest of it. I don't know. But anyway, so yeah, Denise Gomes, Eduardo Mora. It's a tough one, but to me, this girl named herself Rhonda. She is 10-0. She aspires for greatness. She wants to do good. She wants to get, to the pinnacle. Meanwhile, Denise Gomes, lost to Angela Hill. She has 13 losses. Lost to Loma Lukebunmi. I'm going with, but then again, beat Bruna Brazil, beat Yasmin Yarwai, two, decent chicks. I'm going with Eduardo Mora. Not a fight I'm passionate about. It's a learning fight for me. I want to download. I want to see what these girls are about. Mora is going to be a minus 185 favorite on DraftKings as of this moment, with some action coming in on Denise Gomes at plus 154. But I'm going with Eduardo Mora, the favorite, minus 185.
Going Mora, enough said. Not really going to pay attention to this fight. Not going to really bet on this fight. And I don't really give a shit about it. So I'm going to go with Mora, just all vibes alone. Dan, what do you think?
Gotta go with Denise Gomes. I know she's coming off of a loss, but Angela Hill poses a lot of problems to especially younger fighters on the up and up. 2 straight finishes previous to that. Bruna Brazil, Yasmin Yarwai, 2 hot prospects in their own rights. I expect her to get back on track. And yeah, the loss before that, Loma Lukebunmi, another highly skilled veteran of the UFC, gives a lot of chicks a lot of problems. So 2 quality losses, 2 quality wins, finishes at that against a newcomer in the UFC. I like me some Denise Gomes.
The Dallas pick?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Pooja Tomar, the Cyclone, versus Rayanne Amanda. I'm going with Rayanne Amanda. She lost to Talita Alencar 5 months ago. That was her UFC debut. Meanwhile, this is this girl's UFC debut. What do we know about debutantes? They lose. Case in point, this girl lost her last fight. But now, it's in the Apex. It's a little bit more comfortable. She just fought 5 months ago. This other girl hasn't fought in 10 months. It's going to be a little bit more nervous. So I'm going to go with Rayanne Amanda. But if you look at the odds, this fight is not odds. No odds are up yet. So, no, there are. Pooja Tomar is plus 195. Rayanne Amanda is minus 238.
Give me Pooja Tomar. Just another vibes pick for no real reason. Not really going to bet too much on it. Not really going to watch it. That's my only opinion. Give me Tomar. Tomar Garcia Parra.
Harold and Tomar go to White Castle. We're going with Pooja Tomar. She could be pushing the pace, representing India, up-and-coming market in the UFC. Don't bet this fight.
If you do, you're an absolute degenerate junkie.
Yeah.
And you should seek help. Or you're Indian, which is fine, too. If you're Indian, you're allowed to bet on it. But if you're not Indian, you're a degenerate. That's all.
All right, guys, come on. Help me out here. Taylor Lopolis.
All right, Cody Stamann versus Double Impact Taylor Lopolis. Cody Stamann, I love Cody Stamann. I'm a big Cody Stamann guy. But I think Double Impact is just going to be a little bit too much for him. Cody Stamann doesn't have the same wrestling game as a Javid Basharat, not as smothering, not as dominating, not as long, not as constricting. Cody Stamann will get you down, but he will have a little bit of a harder time staying on your back because he's got like a ball. He's got like a ball shape. He's kind of like the shape of an egg weight in a way. But size and shape of an egg weight. 125. Jeez Louise. Wait, 135. Anyway, Small, short, stocky guy. You know a million of them. They definitely wrestled at your high school. He looks exactly like every single good wrestler at your high school. But Double Impact is going to be stronger, faster, better, faster, stronger, better, faster, stronger. And he's going to win this fight. And Cody Stamann, he's good, but he's hitting that age at these low weight classes that you don't really want to see. 34 years old. You know, Taylor Lolis is no spring chicken himself, but I think he's just going to be a little bit more fresher and a little bit more game and a little bit more powerful and fast.
Okay, so Double Impact for the win. He lost to Fired Bashrat, close decision, really just kind of transitional moments in the wrestling that he's going to go back and learn from 4 months ago. Meanwhile, hasn't fought in a year, the 34-year-old who, 34-year-old people don't win at 135 very often. So it's going to be a big deal if he does. He just fought Douglas De Silva de Andrade, who honestly is old himself. I think let's check out how old he is. He's a seasoned vet.
That guy's on all the gear. Sorry.
Sure. Maybe, allegedly,
allegedly on all the gear.
But, he looks to be a 38-year-old who is in phenomenal shape, and Cody Stamann couldn't get it done against him at 34. So I think Lolis is here to stay. You got to get ahead of this line. Best fight odds is saying DraftKings minus 192. I don't want to go higher than minus 200 for Lolis. So, although I think he wins, you got to grab this line, grab a hold of it before it gets away from us, because it will get away. It will get away. Trust me. When the French start betting this one, I mean, it's a Imavov's card. He's headlining. You're gonna have some French people coming in and betting Lolis. Okay.
Get away now. I'm sticking with Cody Stamann. 34 is like 34 is like last year's 27, bro. 34 is not all that bad. Even at 135. I'm not all that concerned about it. I don't think he's taken that much of a step back, maybe a little bit, but Taylor Lolis, I mean, you guys show me a little bit more. Cody Stamann, he's one of these guys who just figures out ways to win. He's never been the most impressive. And so it's not like, he's really lost a step as far as his power or like his power wrestling or his speed. He's never been any of these things. He's just a guy who knows how to win. And I expect that to come to fruition yet again against the rookie, not rookie, but 3 fights in UFC simpleton.
Dan, it's so funny because Dan was the first handicapper literally ever, and you can look this up. Dan was the first handicapper ever to realize that at the lower weight classes, age matters a lot more. He was the first one. He was on the scene. He told us, he was like, no, I just think they start to fade a little bit quicker at these lower weights.
It depends who they are. Again, Stamann's never relied upon the speed, quickness, power. Okay, some of these other guys, like these big knockout dudes at 135, they'll fall off quicker.
Okay, so power never goes. So that's where you're wrong, right? And these guys at the heavier weights, the power never goes. Dan, have you ever heard of George Foreman?
At the heavier weights, not the lighter weights.
Fair enough. All right, whatever. Luke, get on to the next one. Katona versus Jesse Butler, not to be confirmed, not to be confused with the Austin Butler Elvis.
Not to be confused with Jesse Schrader, who is
also
in the UFC.
Jesse Schrader is Austin. Rest in peace, Austin. What's his name? His old boxing coach,
Austin Carter. So we got Katona. Aaron Carter. Just seeing if you guys. So Katona, Jesse Butler. Now here's interesting. Jesse Butler's last, first, and only fight in the UFC, which resulted in him getting knocked out in the first round, was against Jim Miller. Now that was a 155-pound fight. He is now fighting Katona at 135. Both guys 32 years old. Jesse Butler's slightly younger. 5'10", 63-inch reach. Right, so 9 inches of reach, 4 inches.
He
ain't
making that weight. He ain't making
like
that
he's gonna
weight.
make that weight, dude. I don't think he makes the weight. I think that as a result of him not making the weight, the fight still goes on. He has to sacrifice a tremendous amount of his purse, or they don't even let the fight happen because of the percentage of the body weight that he is now missed by. I mean, if he misses,
and he KOs Katona, and Katona gets his walking papers again, and Katona gets another unfair shake of things. Is that what you're going to tell me?
I kind of think it's his destiny. You look at Katona's face; it feels like there's something about him that sort of thing is supposed to happen to him. He's super off-putting, super annoying, yet doesn't understand why. To anybody,
extra.
Michael Chandler, the nicest guy ever, the most positive guy, the most motivating guy, see you at the top, got annoyed by this guy. He said this guy was too, and really it was because it was like looking in a mirror for the first time, and he was like, shit, is this how people fucking think I am? Because it's a guy who's like super meticulous about making sure he's planning everything and like doing his, part.
No, it's because Brad Katona was a little fucking glaze job boy, and his own team didn't even want him so bad that he had to be with Michael Chandler on the Ultimate Fighter. The SPG Ireland boys were like, yeah, we'd rather just lose every fight than have to deal with Brad. Brad's a fucking annoying little bitch.
No, they wanted him to spy on Chandler. And they also said, why are you going to train with us? You train with us every day. Like, get some fucking insight from other people.
And then Brad was still so unbearable. He was like, I just would really love to hang out with Kavanaugh some more. You're from Canada, asshole.
But the Emerald Isles, I am coming home. I can see the rolling fields of green. The fence is made of stone. All right, we're gonna.
I love that song. It's like foggy doo, foggy doo.
do what but do foggy. Yeah.
All right, but although I do like your fan fiction, Luke. If you're old as Jim Miller is knocking your ass out, and as Dan said, at 155, the power goes a lot quicker than it does in most weight classes.
Shut the fuck up.
Dan, your best friend is Jim Miller. You know Jim Miller on a personal level, but Brad Katona is going to get his first ever knockout in this fight.
Interesting. I just hate the odds because this is a fight that has some odds out. I don't know if you guys have taken a look, but minus 500 Brad Katona is what you
bet the house on Jesse Butler.
Like it doesn't actually seem, like it's worth that,
That's insane. Give me Brad Katona, not betting it to save my life.
I'm going to take Jesse Butler just as a little joke, but I do think Brad Katona has the tool set to take him down, wrestle him, be competent. But, this guy's coming out of West Monroe, Louisiana with a 10-inch reach advantage. He's going to have something to say.
I mean, you got to think about this guy, Brad Katona. Listen to this, right? He beat the fuck out of Bryce Mitchell on the Ultimate Fighter. He beat the fuck out of Kyler Phillips on the Ultimate Fighter. Beat the fuck out of Timur Valiev on the Ultimate Fighter. And then, Carlos Vera sucked. But besides that, then he beats everybody, and then he beats everybody outside of the UFC. Then he gets faced up against Hammer Merab Dvalishvili. And then, Hunter Azur, we had high expectations for Hunter Azur. But, you shouldn't be losing Hunter Azur. And then Garrett Armfield, dude, come on. Brad Katona, you absolutely suck. But he's beating these hammers when it doesn't matter. I think he's just got a little stage fright.
It's an Apex fight.
No, it's not. This is at the KFC Crispy Chicken Center in Louisiana.
Damn, it's in
Louisville, Kentucky,
where Jesse Butler's from.
No,
he's from Louisiana.
Kentucky. Pretty similar though.
Stone's throw.
Actually, I think I'm closer to Kentucky than them.
The further south you get, though, anyway.
Kentucky's right under Ohio, right?
These last 4 fights, I'm actually pumped to break down. Like, these are good betting fights. And one of them is what I'll consider a pandemic Triple P classic. I'll let you guys decide which one you think. Actually, two of them are pandemic Triple P classics. I'll let you guys decide which ones those are as we go. So
I got my F-word fight of the night later down the card.
Yeah, I mean, you're telling me Brad Katona, we're gonna let Canada come on down here. Come on down to the Yum Center, and and our Louisiana boy who's eating more Kentucky Fried Chicken than you can shake a stick at is going to.
No, he loved that chicken from Popeyes.
I see Jesse Butler just going uppercut, elbow.
And then he gets done. He says, "I'm not eating no KFC tonight because they won't pay me nothing. I'm gonna have a Popeyes chicken sandwich. That's right, a Popeyes chicken sandwich." Because he's from Louisiana, and I love that chicken Popeyes.
Wawa has chicken sandwiches now. That's what I would say. I would grab the mic. I'd go, you guys know Wawa's got chicken sandwiches now? And I'd drop the mic. And then Wawa would be like, dude. I'll be like, just gift cards. And they'd be like, you're the best. I'm like, seriously. I'm like, $50 in gift cards a week.
You don't even realize that nobody in Kentucky would know what that meant. They'd be like, "What in the hell?"
Exactly. And then they start asking questions, and then Wawa starts franchising down there. And that's actually not true because I think Kentucky does have Wawas. Kentucky.
No way.
Florida, New
Wawa
Jersey,
in Louisville, Kentucky. Store locations and openings. Suck a dick. The Courier Journal. Hold the pump. Wawa's coming to Kentucky. You guys hear that? So yeah.
So they didn't open yet. They're not there yet, Luke. They're not there yet.
Okay, this is September 26th. Wawa to build 40 stores in Kentucky beginning in 2024. All will be open by 2025. Shut your fucking asses up. I'm so fucking plugged in. I'm so tapped in. I'm so boots on the ground. I'm such a man of the people. I literally knew Wawa was coming to Kentucky before anybody even knew. Just because I said in my head, I said, it should be. And like God
manifested Wawa in Kentucky.
It's like God said, let there be light. And there was light. I said, let there be Wawa.
Do you even have Wawa, you fucking nerd?
Could you imagine? I step in there. I knock out Brad Katona. I say, y'all know Wawa's coming to Kentucky. Boom. And I drop the mic. And that's it. Everyone's like, Wawa's coming to Kentucky?
Wawa's got pizza?
I mean, Wawa puts Wawa's coming to Kentucky. Yeah, Wawa's got pizza. Like, exactly. It goes with the marketing, dude. It goes with the branding.
What? Wawa's got pizza?
And guys, Wawa, you can pay. If I'm Wawa, I'm looking at, okay, Cody Stamann. You could probably pay him to say it. You could probably pay Marquez 100%. You could pay him to say it. And Jared Cannonier maybe, but also Radke, this next guy we're about to talk about, Radke.
You say anything on the mic.
Pay him this. Pay for play, baby. He who pays the Pied Piper gets to pick the song. Thiago Moises, Ludwig Klein, Mr. Highlight. I'm going to go with Butler. These guys are going with Katona, preventing the Triple B certification. But I think Butler is going to come in there all Southern grits and gravy and knock this guy out. I don't give a fuck. And he's going to poke him in the eye. Moises, but it also probably won't happen because he's going to miss weight. Moises, Klein, Mr. Highlight. He's a fucking beast. He's
I
gritty.
just don't accept that professionality. You need to be a little bit more professional.
You gotta make
you gotta make the weight if you want to fight on the night.
It's I'm gutted, mate. But at the end of the day, you gotta make weight. You gotta make the weight. And, Iggy Bahamundes, Al Cunningham, Jai Herbert, Mason Jones, Devontae Smith. That's Ludwig Klein's last 5 fights. You look at the last 5 fights of one, Thiago Moises, Mitch Ramirez, Benoit Saint Denis, Megalize Costa, Christios Dragos, and Joel Alvarez. And, really, Ludwig Klein, call him an overachiever. They wouldn't say that in Slovakia. They loved this guy. They sent him over here during the pandemic.
They ain't got a word for it.
And he has exceeded it, and he has met their expectations. He's exceeded a lot of ours, I think. He's got 2 losses. One of them is a 3rd-round choke to Nate Landwehr, who runs cross-country marathons and is one of the best cardio athletes we have. And then he lost a decision to Mike Trezano, a New Jersey punk who's not going to let anybody get over on him. He's cool. We like Mike Trezano, 4-3 in the UFC. But
Nate Landwehr does not run marathons. He was like a sprinter.
I know, dude. It's a running joke that I say that. Shane
running joke.
It's like a running joke that I always say that. I always say that Nate Landwehr runs marathons. I've said it in every episode. Go back and watch it.
A running joke, Luke. That's why we
get it. A running joke. Yeah. I know, dude. It's fucking layers and layers of genius. Okay, Mike Trezano. Before that, impressive head kick knockout, knocks Shane Young out, makes Israel Adesanya cry, and then Izzy's like, no. And then Shane Young proceeds to lose every other fight he's ever had for the rest of his life. Because, like I said, that's a big call out I had. I said Shane Young's a fucking head case. And he's
you didn't. I said that. Yes, you fucking loser.
I said that. I said he's strong.
No. Oh yeah, just like you said.
I said
it doesn't matter what the odds are. Just like you're the guy who coined the phrase. It doesn't matter what the odds are. It matters what's going to happen. I coined that. Dan coined the fact that little tiny guys lose power and speed and strength before anything else. And
I think that Ludwig Klein is dumb enough to grapple with Moises. I think Moises is dumb enough to not realize the distinct advantage he has and end up in a position where he loses. So I'm going to go Ludwig Klein. If you look at the odds for this fight, it's a complete pick'em. So I'm going with Klein. But I feel that because of notoriety and pedigree, and because he fought Islam Makhachev, Moises deserves to be a deep favorite kind of here, like minus 150, 200 range, 300 maybe even. Like I think people should be like, oh, Moises. but he's got 7 losses and he quits at times and he's inconsistent. And I like Klein's consistency, and I like that Klein has better striking and decent enough grappling to not get submitted, I think, but I am not sure. So that's why I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm going with Ludwig Klein.
Anyone who's musically inclined, if you can create a song for me, I'll pay you $100 on the arm. It's a remix of that song that's like, I got the drink and the coke, and I don't sell Molly no more. But instead of I don't sell Molly no more, say I'm not in the UFC no more, and then just list like guys like Mason Jones, Devonta Smith, and I'm not in the UFC no more. So like you look at a lot of these guys that I love that Klein has faced, not in the UFC no more. Even Mike Trezano, he's not in the UFC no more. He's bare knuckle boxing. I bet nobody knew that. I bet you didn't know that. Mike Trezano, the jiu-jitsu guy. Jiu-jitsu, Tiger, what is it, Shulman's? Tiger Shulman's Brazilian jiu-jitsu master Night Wolf.
No, it's Tiger Shulman's karate.
I know, but he also is a Brazilian jiu-jitsu guy. I was just shouting out Tiger Shulman's as well.
Oh, okay.
Just give him a little bit of a shout out. Free press for Tiger Shulman's, as if they don't get enough on New York local television.
No,
as I was saying, none of these guys are in the UFC.
And everybody that he fought before the UFC is a bunch of guys who nobody's ever heard of anyway and never left.
A bunch of ballsy bears.
Never left Slovakia. Bunch of Larry Bozers.
I feel like a national no Larry Ballsy bear.
So yeah, I'm just gonna go with Thiago Moises. I mean, this guy is still young, 29. He's talented. He's handsome. He's got it all going on. Bossa Nova. I was sincerely going to take Ludwig Klein on this one.
Me too.
I was leaning Klein heavily, and I knew Luke was going to come out here and take Moises. And I was like, are you going to have what it takes to pull the trigger on Klein when Luke takes Moises? Because everything Luke is going to say is going to be correct about Moises, because Moises is that good. Okay? Moises is that fucking good.
I picked him against Makhachev. So why am I not going to pick him against Klein?
Because he was plus 600 in that one. And that's the difference.
But right now, plus 102. If you give me plus money at all, I'm gobbling it up.
Is Ludwig Klein Bin Laden St. Denis? Is Ludwig Klein Joel Alvarez? Is Ludwig Klein Islam Makhachev? Is he Damir? Damir Ismagulov?
Damir Ismagulov was the one that I went, he's fucking good.
He is really good, actually. I was getting him confused with Damir, who got choked out by Renato Moicano, who was like, if you wanted to keep fighting, why did you tap me out? Huh?
Damir Hadzovic.
Yeah. Jason Knight, he does suck. But, you lose to Jason Knight every now and then. Especially when you're a jiu-jitsu guy just coming out and you realize that there's just...
Wait, Moises lost to Jason Knight?
Early in his career.
I'm back on Klein.
Ooh.
I'm back on Klein. I didn't know that. I actually didn't even know that. No, I'm back on Klein. I mean, I think that we're getting, and you're right, because Moises, he was young, and I think we are getting the best Moises we've had in a while now, or ever.
Let's look at what year that happened.
He's 20.
Let's look what year that.
Well, Moises is 29. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing.
That's what I'm saying. Like 29, and this happened 9 years ago. He was 20 years old.
So was Klein.
But Luke, that was his. But while he was fighting, Luke.
Every round's going to start on the feet, and every round that it starts on the feet, Klein's going to beat the fuck out of him. I'm taking it.
Divine Klein. The Divine Klein. I'm also going with Ludwig Klein. He's way better. Thiago Moises, his time is way in the past. Way in the past. All right.
He's 29, but his head is too small.
His head's too small, and his biggest moment is getting a heel hook on Michael Johnson. Okay, let's be honest. That was his big moment in the pandemic. Everyone was watching. No one else was watching any other sports.
What about knocking Jamal Emmers out? What about knocking Jamal Emmers out with punches?
Not impressive. Not impressive enough. Ludwig Klein, I mean, this guy can wrestle. He can strike his ass off. He strikes with power. He's fast. He's athletic. You're not taking him down. he's a way better striker than Thiago Moises. Way better. The only thing that Moises has is maybe like jiu-jitsu. But again, not taking him down. Not taking him down at all. This guy's a sinewy freak. Okay, he's like one of these guys. Like he's wiry. You're not taking down a wiry Ludwig Klein. Okay, easy pick, Ludwig Klein.
Yeah, as I said, I was leaning Ludwig Klein before we got on here, and now I'm going with Moises. So
Good. Lose more money. Help me in the competition. I can't wait to just grab both of your money. I'm not going to give it back. I'm not going to be magnanimous.
I spelled it wrong. Klein right there. I spelled it like Ethan Klein. I didn't spell it like Ludwig Klein. I'm going with Moises though, because you guys sound way too cocksure about this one, and I think you guys are sleeping on my boy Thiago Moises.
I am, and I mean, listen, I am, but he won his last fight by leg kicks. You try that with Ludwig Klein, you're going to get head kicked. Okay,
you're too cock hesitant.
Hey,
Klein.
That's why I'm the only one here without a child. Yeah,
Charlie Radke, Carlos Prates. Shit. I mean, I'm going with Chuck Buffalo. I love that he's an underdog here. Sorry if I spoiled that for you guys and influenced your pick at all, but it's a Southern fight in Salem. You know, he's a Salem, Winston, North Carolina guy. It's a stone's throw away from the Yum Center. He's going to come in there.
I thought he was a Chicago bull.
This is saying he's 5'9", and that his opponent is 6'1". That's crazy. But he's MMA Masters. I think he goes in there and he wrestles. He picks this guy up, takes him down. This is a Brazilian guy. He's going to be accepting bottom position. He's got 6 losses. Carlos the Nightmare Prates. He looks good, dude. I'm not saying he's not good, but he's got 72% of the wins by knockout. You know, he's not good on the ground. He has only fought Mitch Ramirez, who just lost his last fight by fucking leg kicks. He fought Trevin Giles, who's old, and nobody else, right? Modified rules kickboxing fights. You know why you go do a modified rules kickboxing fight? Because your ground game fucking sucks. This is a Muay Thai guy. He did fight Dave LeDuc.
Yeah. You said he's from Winston-Salem, bro. He's out of Salem, Wisconsin. Are you fucking mental? Yo, look at it again. Look at it again right this fucking second. I was like, I thought he was from Chicago, which Wisconsin's close to Chicago. You're saying Winston-Salem, fucking North Carolina.
Winston-Salem is where Stephen A. Smith allegedly played college basketball. But that's a lie. That's a lie. Everyone who knows anything about anything knows.
Isn't Dave LeDuc the guy that people talk about as like the amazing, left wing guy?
Dave Duke is the KKK guy.
David Duke?
No. Dave LeDuc is.
I don't know who that is.
Who is this guy? Why do I know about this guy?
Like, whoa.
This amazing David Duke.
Yeah.
Because Carlos Prates, it says that he fought David LeDuc, who I think Joe Rogan might have talked about him on his podcast, who's like a left-way guy. David LeDuc's a left-way guy.
All I know is Luke, the Duke of New York, kicking to number 1.
This guy fought David LeDuc in Muay Thai back in 2016, but he also has fought some modified rules kickboxing fights, and now he's in MMA, and all his wins come by knockout. And I think that he is going to be he's going to be on the ground. He's going to be surprised when it comes to Chuck Buffalo's wherewithal, tenacity, strength. Chuck Buffalo treats a Colby fucking Covington. That's how he's going to come into this fight. Blood brother pride. The tattoo on his chest. Blood brother pride.
Respect brother pride.
Respect brother heart. I'm going with Chuck Buffalo. Dude, I'll get mad.
Chuck Buffalo all the way. Carlos Prates. Damn, you really got me with that respect brother heart. I had a bunch of fodder ready for this one,
respect
and it just
brother for a heart. Respect brother with a heart. Respect brother with a heart.
Oh, Dan, you gotta go. I gotta recuperate. You wouldn't understand a brother heart.
I don't get it at all. I have no idea what you guys are talking about. I'm going with Chuck Buffalo because you know why? Don't worry about the stats. Don't worry about the intangibles. Worry about the aura. This guy's got the aura, and that's the hot word in the MMA circle these days. But the aura is strong with this Chuck Buffalo, And Carlos Prates, he's put out a good name for himself thus far as well. So I don't know. We got two competing auras, but I think Chuck Buff. I think it's a little bit spicier. Got a little bit more stank on it. So I'm gonna go with aura and aura alone.
Chuck Buffalo fought Austin Hubbard when he was 2-0. Austin Hubbard was 7-2 at the time. Okay, Chuck Buffalo when he was 2-0 fought a 7-2 Austin Hubbard. How crazy is that?
Austin Hubbard out of Colorado.
Yeah, the guy who got his leg busted open like a madman. Yeah, I completely forgot everything I was gonna say. Chuck Buffalo, give me Chuck Buffalo.
Okay, we got Daniel Marquez, 15-0, Peru's Hope versus John Castaneda, Sexy Mexi, out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. John Castaneda, no one wears a mustache better. He fought Daniel Santos, not Daniel Marcos, but Daniel Santos. If you look at Daniel Santos, I think that's Willie Cat, right? Is that Willie Cat?
I think so.
Yeah, Willie Cat. He fought Willie Cat. Okay, so, that was his last loss. It was a knee situation. He got kneed. I remember that fight. He fought valiantly. Before that, he lost to Nathaniel Wood. No shame there. He's got some wins, not finished Miles Johns. That's impressive to me in the round 3, but we know Miles Johns gasses. Eddie Wineland got a knockout win over him in round 1. That's what you do. That's what you got to do. He fought Muin Gaffarov to a decision. Close fight. Honestly, Muin Gaffarov had moments. You could have given him some of those rounds. Kyung Ho Kang, 9 losses. That was his last fight. He won by decision. That guy's got 9 losses that he beat. Jose Alday lost to him by split decision. So, this is a bit of a situation, right? With Mr. Castaneda. He's a 135 pounder.
Playing at 135 pounds.
He's 4-2 in the UFC. I think that this is where the buck kind of stops here with Sexy Mexi, being 4-2. I think that Arichi Lang was a bit of a coward in the last fight, with the unintentional groin strike. He was getting pieced up. He was getting his ass beat. I'm going to go with Daniel Santos to remain undefeated here. He's
Marcos.
Yeah, Daniel Marcos to remain undefeated here. But, I love John Castaneda. I have a lot of respect for him. I just think that he's actually, let's see what the odds are. He's kind of the better fighter if you think about it. Better caliber competition. If you look at like a bubble, I would say Castaneda is like the more market tested of the two in terms of value and like what you're getting out of like the bet and stuff, right? Because you look at this guy came out of the Contender Series a year and 8 months ago. He fought Brandon Lewis, then he fought Simon Oliveira, then he fought Davey Grant, and then he fought Arichi Lang. There's nobody there. So if he's going to lose, why not to John Castaneda? I mean, John Castaneda has fought Muin Gaffarov, Kung Ho Kang, Daniel Santos, Miles Johns. That's a better 4 fights than this guy's had, under the
100%.
So I kind of like the underdog odds on John Castaneda. It's just that it's a pick'em right now. I don't really know if it's going to remain a pick'em or if John Castaneda is going to get moved to the favorite. You could almost talk me into the undefeated Peruvian Daniel Marcos if it's going to move to like him being plus 150. You could almost, talk me into that. I think it's going to be a close fight. I'm going to stick with what I came here. I'm not going to get swayed. I'm going to go with Daniel Marcos. That's what I believe coming in.
So I think Daniel Marcos is a better fighter, but I think this matchup does not bode well for him. I like Sexy Mexi because he puts together the volume, whereas Daniel Marcos is a counter striker, doesn't throw enough for my liking, especially again in a matchup like this. What?
Wait, in a matchup like this where the guy's going to come at him and he's going to be able to counter strike a lot more punches all at once?
No,
you just said the guy throws more body. It's like, Dan, I understand where you're like a counter striker versus Yoel Romero is a bad matchup, but then it's like this guy throws.
No, because the guy that's literally going to double his strike count.
Yeah,
that is not good for him. If they're throwing the same amount. And it's the counter striker versus like just a regular striker guy. Daniel Marcos has the more talent. He's the better fighter in general. That's where you go on that side. But this guy, like Sexy Mexi, puts it together. Like he throws a lot of combinations together. He could triple this guy's strike count. He could triple the amount of strikes thrown. So even if he gets countered on 1 out of 3, he's still doubling up the amount of strikes landed here. I think Marcos might have the heavier shots. He's very talented. I like him as a fighter. Again, I think he's a better fighter in general, but it's going to come down to the numbers here, I think. And I'll take the dog odds on this one. I'll take Sexy Mexi. He's a damn good fighter in his own right.
I'm taking Sexy Mexi as well, ironically enough, although I gave Dan a little guff. I just thought that the order of operations of what he said was hilarious. I agree, but I just thought the way you said it was funny. I think Sexy Mexi is going to lead the dance. I think he's going to be overwhelming and not give Marcos the space to counter-strike. See, Dan, that's how you fucking give analysis right there. You don't just say, one guy is going to throw a lot of punches and one guy is going to wait for those punches and then counter them. No.
I keep it simple. Okay. I'm an educator. You got to break it down to base level.
All right. Fair enough. I'm a
former not for long. I'm going corporate.
I'm a former educator. Now I'm just all about the nitty gritty. Now we're about the nitty gritty. TLDR. Too long. Didn't read.
How about the ROI? I'm going to be in that field too. Don't worry. I'm going to take over both your companies.
Awesome. Yeah, give me a referral bonus, please. Anyway, I just think Castaneda is a little bit hardier, longer, and stronger. Ironically enough, you would think Marcos, the way he fights, he's going to be the longer fighter. Sexy Mexi has a longer reach. Sexy Mexi, I think, is even an inch taller than Daniel Marcos, which surprised me. I consider Sexy Mexi a bit of a lanky guy and Marco, or Sexy Mexi a bit of a stocky guy and Marcos a little bit of a lanky guy. Maybe it's just because of how he uses the kicks, Daniel Marcos. Or not Daniel Marcos. What is it?
Oh, Daniel Santos. Daniel Marcos.
Oh, it's Daniel Marcos. Yes, Daniel Marcos. Daniel Marcos uses really good kicks. I just think that Sexy Mexi has way more. Huh?
No, you're good. I just have to pee. So I want to go first next time. I'm going to pee, and then we'll come back and we'll talk UFC.
Or go last next time. I can take us away on the next one. Go right, pee right now.
Away on the next one.
Yeah. Okay. How about you let me finish my fucking pick? Jesus. Dan, do your never mind. Anyway, Castaneda, hardier, longer, stronger, more powerful, more ways to win too. I think if this goes to the ground, Castaneda is going to be the more equipped fighter to deal with that adversity. Marcos is a bit of a rangy kickboxing, Muay Thai type of guy. They have never learned a takedown in Peru, right? He's from Peru.
Yeah.
When's the last time a Peruvian went to the Olympics for wrestling or judo? I'll even give you judo, a fake martial art. You know, now I would believe Taekwondo based on all the kicking I see in the UFC, but not wrestling. And for that reason, I'm going with Castaneda. I think Castaneda is going to push through the kicks, push through, get to the inside, land those combinations. He likes to throw combinations to the body to put that fucking put the pressure on that skinny guy, the skinny little ribs, the skinny little abs, and put that money in the bank and end up winning that fight. And I think, Dan, call me crazy, but I think Castaneda finishes him. I think Castaneda finishes his ass.
Put it in the bank, not in the stank. Let's go to our last fight of the evening with Andrea KGB Lee. I wonder if she's going to take away that moniker with current events going on these days, versus Montana de la Rosa.
I don't think they're necessarily the most politically correct crew over there with her coach's comments from the corner that one fight.
True. Yeah. She's from that Texas camp, right?
She's got that guy, Kelly, Chad Kelly or something like that. He's
Kelly?
No, not Charlie Kelly from Always Sunny. Fuck. Chad Kelly, I think his name is, or something like that. He's a UFC fighter. He's not really that good. He's got weird eyes. He's racist. He's just a scumbag.
The racists always have weird eyes. That's how I point them out. Say, hey, don't go to that freaky eyes.
Usually blue. They're usually blue. Hate to say it. Yeah. We got
anyways, as far as this matchup,
who?
I said, as far as this matchup, I'm gonna go with the Mountain of the Rose here. I feel like KGB Lee, she's got Gumby legs, real easy to take down, and that's gonna be the game plan, obviously, of our slight little mountain here. Yeah, I don't know. I've been on the KGB train before. I think she's got some skills. I think she's got some some valuable assets for her weight class. But that being said, I think she's got a very big flaw in that she's pretty easily taken down. In my mind's eye, I'll be honest, I didn't tape study this one, guys. Sorry. But from what I remember, I feel like she's been fleet of foot, not real sturdy. So that being said, I like the not exactly up-and-comer, but maybe slightly younger Mountain of the Roses with the wrestling background, with the wrestling tenacity and the wrestling game plan to execute that.
Guys,
now I remember why I said hold on.
In the last
I
5
remember why I
fights
said I needed
from
the first.
Bro, you don't just come in and start fucking talking, okay? You don't just turn on your camera, turn on your mic, and start fucking talking. You wait your turn, okay? Out of the last 10 De La Rosa matchups, they are 2-7-1.
Who are those 10?
The De La Rosa family combined, the Mountain and the Mark.
Oh, that's combined? Oh, get out of here. Whatever. He lost like 6 straight on his way out the door.
4, but she's on 3. So they're in the same boat.
Oh, she's due. She's due.
Dan, her last 5, she's 3-1-1. She has a draw, right? Split draw. So
good.
Anyway, give me Mountain of the Roses. I think she's going to be I think the De La Rosa family sucks, but I think Charlie or Chad Kelly and fucking Andrea Lee suck even more.
Andrea Lee's lost 4 in a row.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying I think Chad Kelly and Andrea Lee suck worse than the whole De La Rosa family. I think that even though the De La Rosa family is 2-7-1 in their last 10 fights, they would still beat the shit out of Andrea Lee and Chad Kelly if they wanted some. Is that his name, Luke? Chad Kelly?
Chad Skelly.
Skelly.
Oh, I remember that guy.
Racist.
No, don't say that about people. That's actually slander. You can't say that. So you're like.
It's an opinion.
Is it an opinion? Because it's illegal to be racist. So you're accusing them of a crime.
Not a crime. And it's an opinion.
Oh, so now you don't think it's a crime to be racist? Because that's not what I think.
No. Newsflash. No.
I
don't think it's a crime.
It's a crime. They should be executed. So anyway,
I think it's a sin, but I don't think it's a crime.
And sinners should be stoned. And they're to death, right? Alex?
Separate church and state, Luke. Of course. Come on.
Listen, I don't separate church. Anyway, so guys, we already talked. I'm banning all pets if I get elected to governor. So I can't wait to ban all pets. I'm coming for your pets first, and then your kids. First, I ban pets, and then it's a 1 child per household policy. It's a 0 pet policy because it's so funny because people think like, oh, in China, they let people have pets.
That's just because Luke's trying to make sure his wife doesn't have another kid on him. He's like 1 child per house fucking mantra from here on out.
The 1 child policy imposed by your parents.
Imposed by your parents?
No, sorry, that's a stupid thing. I'm looking. I'm trying to find out China's 1 dog policy. Okay. I'm trying to find out, like, when China had the 1 child per family policy, what was their policy on pets? Because you're telling me that you can only have 1 kid, but you
eat them
10 dogs? Like, how many dogs can I have?
Bring him to the butcher.
And if it's 1 dog, it's like, okay, so I can have 1 kid and 1 dog. Like, that's crazy. Like, so a kid and a dog are equal. Why can't I have 3 dogs to 1 kid? Like, I think there should be a number. Like, there should be a standard, Like, there should be a dog to person standard. Okay, yeah, dude, it's a 1 dog policy. Yeah, China has a 1 dog policy. I love this.
Per dinner time, right? 1 dog per dinner.
When the Patriots give me guff, I'm gonna be like, you want China to get ahead of our country, I guess, because they have a 1 dog policy. I'm like, so you're saying that, oh, like you're that much of a little snowflake that you have to have all your doggies. Oh, I need my doggies. But then while the Chinese are getting ahead of us, and then the guy will be like, I hang my head in shame, Mr. President. You're right. Come here, Spot. Come here, Skip. I'm going to give them up. And I'll say, give them to a family with no dogs. Like, let's spread the dogs out. You start with the 1 dog per family policy. With the caveat, people say, well, I have 2 already. What should I do? I say, find somebody who has 0 and give them one of yours. And they go, okay, that's actually not that unreasonable. So they do that. Now I've gotten everybody with 1. So then I go, hey, guys, just to let you know, if you have a dog now, you're grandfathered in, but no new dog permits are being issued. So then we're 1 generation away of no dogs.
And you eliminate breeders.
No pets.
You eliminate breeders at that point.
Because we're spreading the existing base out. We're spreading the existing base out. No new dog. And that, honestly, that's better for the dogs than not. Because now we've eliminated. Don't stop watching. We're still going to talk UFC 302 just a little bit. And I know what you're thinking, Luke. I've seen enough.
We are? What the fuck?
No, chill. Oh, my God. I'm saying.
I'm sorry.
I know what they're thinking. Like, Luke, you're about to tell me about a lady fight where they're both competing to see who's going to get their 10th loss. I know what you're thinking. I'm going to go with Montana De La Rosa, but it's like, why? And then I go, you're right, Luke. Why? I'm going with Andrew. I'm going with Montana De La Rosa. I'm going with Montana De La Rosa because she's 29. Her opponent is 6 years older. That puts her in a 70% win category. Fighters who are 35 years old or more, 135 pounds or less, are statistically improbable to win. The probability is favoring Montana De La Rosa. For that reason, it makes no sense that she's ended up going to win because we know things happen all the time in lady fights that are outlandish. But at plus 114, I like the 6 years younger fighter. However, we did do that run through of in which cases did the older fighter win. And in the cases where an older fighter did win, although only 34% of the time over the last 5 years of stat tracking at the time that we checked this, of the 34% of the time when the older fighter does win, in the case that more likely than not, they were the favorite in that situation. Andrea Lee is the favorite here. So that would put her in of the 35%, she's in a winning percentage of that percentage. But still,
just leave it in.
MTLR, Mulong didn't read.
Mulong didn't read.
Going with Montana De La Rosa. All right, that's all for me. Let me run through my full picks real quick. I'm going with MDLR, as I just said. After that, the Peruvian undefeated fighter in Daniel Marcos. Then Chuck Buffalo, Charles Radke, Ludovic Klein, Jesse Butler, that's a joke pick, Taylor Lopolis, Rayon Amanda, Eduardo Mora, Raul Rosas Jr., Miguel Baeza, Bruno Ferreira, Julian Marquez, Dominic Reyes, Nazardine Imavov. This is a joke card. All these picks are jokes. This card sucks. I don't even know why I said it was good. Kidding. There's a live audience. It's the Center. We got Lopolis. We got Imavov. I think the 2 Frenchies get it done. Those are my 2 locks. Sprinkle Ferreira in there. Add in a little spicy boy, Klein, and then go with the young chick, Montana De La Rosa, Charles Radke. We're in. We're out. We're clean. We're neat. We're tidy.
You would have thought Red Robin had the rights to the Center, but I'm gonna go with Mountain De La Rosas. I'm gonna go with John Castaneda. I'm going to go with Charles Radke, and I'm going to go with Thiago Moises, Brad Katona, Taylor Double Impact Lopolis, Puja Tomar, Eduardo Moro de Vaquers, Ricky Turquoise, Miguel Baeza, Bruno Ferreira, Julian Marquez, Dustin Jacoby, Jared Cannonier. Dan, you're taking Reyes, right?
Yeah.
We both took Jacoby, and he thought it was triple P certified.
No, I took Reyes.
You took? Oh my gosh!
I mean, I took Reyes. I said that I'm not proud of it. It's a dirty pick, but I think that he's competitive. He's got a refuse to move mentality.
It's fine. I glazed Reyes the whole time before I didn't pick him, so I understand why.
He's just a little bit slow and a little bit non-committal at times when it comes to the striking with certain guys. You know what I mean? And this guy, I feel like he's going to be in there kind of playing. We're both from Colorado. Respect brother heart, and then they're going to end up just kind of getting to decision, and Reyes will still be standing, and he'll maybe have won. But it doesn't make sense that he'll have won based on the volume and activity of Jacoby. So I'm switching to Jacoby right here, right now. Am I? Or am I not? I don't know. Shit. Now you've got me all confused. Why'd you make me think about the second fight of the night again?
Second to last fight of the night. One of the ones you should consider.
Jacoby.
I'm going with Reyes. He's a little looser.
All right. Sorry to interrupt you, Dan.
Sorry, no, I'm going with Dustin Jacoby. Stop. I'm switching. Formally. I'm switching to Dustin Jacoby.
I'm going with
so L7.
I'm not even looking at camera. So he left. All right. All right.
I was just going to wait for you to talk and then just
I'm going with Mountain of the Roses from the bottom. Then we are going to Johnny Castaneda, the sexy Mexi, followed by Charles Chuck Buffalo Radke, Ludwig Klein, Brad Katona, annoying ass, Cody Stamann, whoever is the Indian girl. I forgot the last name. I'm just looking at last names here. Tomar. Yes. Harold and Tomar. Then we go to Gomes. Boy, these tapology percentages are off the chain. Only 20% believing in Gomes. You're all wrong.
Those nerds don't know shit.
They don't know anything. But this is where I'm looking at as far as my picks. We're going with Raul Rosas Jr. We're going with Miguel Baeza. We're going with Bruno Ferreira. We're going with Zach Reese, followed by Dominic Reyes. And lastly, the Killer Gorilla, Jared Cannonier.
Dan, quick little insight on those percentages. Whenever it's a lady fight, whoever's the hottest is getting the percentage on Tapology every single time.
Hey-yo, waka.
4 Triple B certified picks. Bruno Ferreira, Miguel Baeza, Chuck Buffalo, Charles Radke, and Montana De La Rosa. Montana De La Rosa and Charles Radke are going to be the 2 underdog Triple B certified picks that fall within that golden ratio of Triple P certified bettable picks, of which, we had Chaos Williams there for you last week. We had, who else? I think Adrian Yanez, maybe. I don't know. But anyway, Chaos Williams brought it home for us. I think he was the biggest bettable Triple P certified pick. And those picks have been historically profitable over year 4. So we're moving into year 5, still profitable. And those are the 4 Triple B certified picks: Ferreira, Baeza, Radke, and Montana De La Rosa. Thanks for joining the show, everybody. We appreciate you being here. Real quick, before we leave, we're just going to take a quick peek at this week's card. Makhachev, Strickland, Holland, Almeida, all these fighters are going down. And if you just take a look real quick at some of the rescheduled and fizzled bouts, Andre Lima is now not fighting Nayam Jargal Turmendembarel.
We broke him down against Mitch Raposo regardless.
We broke him down against Mitch Raposo regardless. Yeah, we did. So other than that, the only fight that I'm kind of like rethinking or wishy-washy on, or like, I don't know about this one, is I'm doubling down on Islam Makhachev, and I'm a little bit wishy-washy on Paulo Costa, but I love what I'm seeing out of Paulo as far as his physique, his preparation, and his getting back in there so quick. So, but my favorite pick is Islam Makhachev by submission. Basil Hafez, I don't know. I can kind of see that one go in the distance now. I'm a little bit weary about that one going by finish, but I'm still taking Basil Hafez. Just don't love the 3-1 odds. And, yeah, that's about it. That's all I got. Everything else, go watch the other episode. None of my thoughts have changed. Boys, anything you got to say?
Thanks for watching. You guys are the best.
Get in the Patreon for the open bet sheet. We appreciate you guys being here. Alex, anything you got?
Yeah, looking at this, I don't think I'm changing too much. Check out the open bet sheet, but I'm still staying true with all the guys that I'm taking from last week, especially Joe Selecki and Basil Hafez, the hometown boys. I think Basil Hafez literally rips Mickey Gall's pencil neck head off of his body.
And they did grappling. Look into it on Basil Hafez's Instagram. All right, thanks everybody. We appreciate your time. We love you, and good luck this weekend. UFC Newark.